his nickname?
It's DeRitter, but I just nicknamed him right now.
That guy looks jacked compared to Kevin Holland, though, right?
I don't know. I have no idea who I bet on.
Hello, everybody. I was supposed to go opening credits. It didn't. Fuck off. Anyway, my name's Raf Esparza. You're watching the Grappling Hour. I'm finishing up some pizza. Otherwise, I would have had my shit together. I was gingerly jogging over here, but I'm joined by my good friend, Rich Leroy, who is here at his own gym. Sir, right up on the microphone, if you'd be so kind.
Thank you.
Where are we at, sir?
We are at Yailton 805 in Camarillo, California. It's a new gym here. Been open since December 2nd. We've got Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, MMA, kids classes, all levels welcome. We got some weights here. I got a cold plunge and a sauna on the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Dude,
get in
I'm
here
jealous
and
of
get
the
it
sauna.
done. Dude,
Is that what's going on over there?
Yes. That's what's going on.
Woo. Okay, we're joined by some friends. We're going to get to them in a second. But first and foremost, I do want to say this. We have some ground rules here. And let me go and state them very quickly. Just a second. If you're watching right now, you're also catching us on Instagram. It's a little bit hard to see me. I understand that. Has to do a different perspective here. But if you're watching right now, this is a show where we do a lot of different talks about fights. And today we are going to be watching UFC 311. We hope you're joining us. If you live in LA and you paid for those prices to go sit in those chairs, God bless your money being gone. But nonetheless, we're at a much better place here, surrounded by friends. Rich, who is joining us here today?
Today we got Yailton's premier fighter, Garrett Chamberlain.
So, Garrett, you bring the microphone next to you.
Huh.
It's a lot of responsibility to be the premier fighter of a gym, is it not?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've been training for 3 years, and, new gym opening up. We all know that Rich is the real premier fighter, but,
Thank you.
I do my part.
Okay,
do my best.
But he called you the premier fighter, so I mean,
The current one.
the current.
Yeah, current premier fighter. Hey,
and
we got action going on.
we do have action here. We're going to get to it in a second. That's a weird sort of open triangle.
Yeah. Triangle.
And
He's not
this is something that Holland finds himself into shenanigans all of the times. But Rich, who else are we joined by over to my right-hand side today?
We also got Chris Brommer over here, Coach Chris.
What's up, you guys?
One of my best friends and big part of the gym here, helping me coach, helping me get stuff together. Really good dude.
Well, Rich, thank you so much. Before we started everything, you seem to be trying to instigate a bet. So what is the current bet that is happening for this fight that we are watching?
Coach Chris and myself bet on this fight. I got Holland. He's got DeRitter. And we put $10 on that.
That's very nice. That's very nice.
So-
How do you feel about that bet right now, Chris?
Actually, really good because what it's looking like is my boy's taking some damage here, but this is all by design. All by design.
Yep.
He's just like this is the MMA version of Rope-a-Dope. Right?
I have to say, I always
tiring
get
him out.
really mad because whenever I hear the name DeRitter, I just want to call him DeRiddler.
I literally did that right when you
And
stepped off. I was
it's
like, that's his name.
impossible for those of us who grew up as fans of Batman to not call him DeRiddler. And I've seen his work in 1FC for long enough that I've been like, I should know it by now, but I will refuse to refer to him by his real name.
his debut was.
Yeah, that's it.
He killed it in his debut.
Absolutely did.
that.
For sure.
And he was somebody who, when I realized would come to this organization, he was a great asset. I thought it was really dope to see him here. And right now, playing from inside of closed
They
guard.
throw Holland at all the new fighters.
Oh.
Anybody coming in, they have to go through Holland. He's like the gatekeeper.
Let's go with that armbar.
I mean, Rich is calling out for an armbar. That's not a bad
Bar
choice here.
triangle.
He sort of had, yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's got an angle now.
Come on.
Rich really wants his $10.
Yeah, man.
But
And
I think he also knows he would be rooting against himself, though, right, for that $10 here?
no, I have DeRiddler. So
Oh, you have. Oh,
$10.
so he does want
Yeah,
that armbar.
yeah,
Okay, I
want
just
that
wanted to
armbar.
make
He
sure.
wants that arm. He wants the arm and
Snatch up
$10.
that arm. Snatch up that
Yeah.
arm.
I mean, he's covering up pretty badly here. Even though it doesn't look like the most impactful of shots, it does start to make you go, all right, you got to
love my
respond
bet
here.
right now. I love
You
my
love
bet.
your bet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh.
Sting.
Is Holland the one that knocked out Jacare with like a weird punch on the ground?
Yeah.
So it can happen.
It can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah, from his back.
Dump him. You got to dump him right here. He's off to the side. He's 2 off. it's going to be very difficult to maintain this position. And for those of you who are watching, feel free to talk to us in the comment section. We will be looking at your comments throughout. We do see a lot of you guys tuning in, and it says, I'm glad I went to Raw instead. You and me both, buddy. My Raw ticket price was way better than here. I was essentially on the floor, and if I paid my Raw price, I wouldn't even be in the Intuit Dome for UFC 311. So, nice risk control.
To join in. What's up, Wilson? International Muay Thai champ.
Absolutely. You know what's so weird is we just put that we were watching this, and Wilson dropped in for a split second, but you've been traveling with him a little bit. You just came back from Thailand, yeah?
We did. We went up there.
Oh, my goodness.
Really?
No.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
We still got time to win that 10 back.
The night is still early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think he thought he was going to be getting a submission here tonight.
No, that's why I was looked up, and it's like, now it's over. As is the case.
It is
all these
all
fights.
over.
But yeah, we will see people popping in and out, and it does look like here's a thing to remind you guys. I get it. You probably didn't order the pay-per-view. I will do my best to give you play-by-play, but I am joined by friends, and we haven't seen each other in a minute because he's been so busy getting this place together that I've just been like, bro, do your work, and we will see each other soon. But hey, you know what? By the way, ground rules. We always toast those who get finishes within regulation. So in a second, we'll do that.
Right.
That's our way of saying, it's difficult to get finishes, period.
It is.
But even when we do this for jiu-jitsu matches, if you win in overtime, we're like, nah, we don't cheers you.
Yeah.
But if you win in regulation, we give you a toast. So knockouts and finishes do get toasts. And so we do one to the Riddler here in a second.
I'm with that.
But I first wanted to just have everybody get their red cup together and just say this. Congratulations on a brand new gym. It's an honor to be here, and we wanted to be here to basically mark the occasion of a brand new addition, a wonderful addition to the community. Congratulations, you guys.
Cheers, you guys. Thanks for being here. Cheers, brother. Cheers, Garrett.
Cheers.
All right, let's get back to talking about Garrett, though, because I'm intrigued, Garrett.
Yeah.
I know you the least here, but yet you also had the most prominent feature of the gym. So I know we're joking about you being the prominent fighter of the gym.
Yeah.
But you recently got a big win at a PKB. So congratulations are in order to you as well, sir. So big congrats. How does it feel like to be a representative of the gym to get the very first big win for the gym?
Well, at first it did feel like a lot of pressure on my shoulders.
I can see that.
Right? Yeah, you want to win.
Well, I told him if he didn't win, I was going to fucking
I wasn't allowed to come back if I didn't win. So,
Just kidding.
yeah, but I knew all the hard work that I put in, all the training, so I wasn't worried about it. I knew I was going to get the win. My opponent, he just gassed out too fast. He wasn't hitting the road and doing the running that I was doing. I knew that coming in, so.
Told him to run.
Nobody likes the running. Let's be very honest about that. But it makes a huge difference when you need it.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you get this win. You get to represent the gym. What's next for you? Like, where do you want to go next? And what is in the near future for you, sir?
Near future. Well, I'm working on my jiu-jitsu right now, so I want to get my jiu-jitsu a little bit better.
Okay.
But yeah, I think an amateur fight pretty soon here.
Hell yeah.
Sometime this year, like whether it's at the end of the year or maybe in the summer, but whenever my coaches think I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't do the punch kick with other people. Like, I don't mind learning it, but the grappling side, I'll be happy to get some rolls with you in the near future. So definitely just make sure he doesn't learn heel hook defense, and we're good. We're fine there.
Teach him that.
Beautiful. You know what's great about this is the Riddler right now is on his 3rd minute of speech here. But just to give you guys a little bit of a recap of what he was saying, he was super happy with the win. He basically was giving props to everybody. Look how surprised he is. That's a big smile on his face. I've seen him win a lot in my time. And I think this is the goofiest I've seen him in terms of, like, I got a submission win, and y'all can't tell me shit right now, is essentially what I'm picking up from him. Peter Berg, an amazing writer-actor. He's in the crowd right now. Anthony Kiedis, who looks like a silent film star at this point. That looks like, Tim Crawford, Rage Against the Machine, and Audio Slave.
Okay.
And Uriah Faber, who just got cut, by the way. Chuck Liddell.
Yep.
Lots of prominent people. And by the way, I will tell you this. The Intuit Dome, even though there are nosebleeds, not a bad seat. Like, lots of really good seating there. So even though I wouldn't try and pay for those nosebleed places, still pretty good to watch all the way around. All right. We're going to come back this way. Chris, I'm going to ask this to you.
Yes, sir.
Every gym has its journey. You guys had one to get here.
Yeah.
What was the toughest thing that you had to do to make this gym happen?
I feel weird saying it because there's going to be another tough thing right after this.
Sure.
Yeah. No, this
But
is
but let's mark the progress of something good that's happened thus far.
well, the fact that we're here is a huge blessing. We worked over 2 years. Rich and I started with spreadsheets, and then it just continued and continued. And also, our the key that really made it all happen was our other partner, George Bestrajman. If I'm saying that correctly, I hope so, George. But big shout out to him. He pulled a lot of strings and pulled this all together. And we're here now open. A brand new Vaughn's just opened 3 doors down. So we're getting all this foot traffic and all the marketing and everything that we're going to be doing is we're super excited about it. But
I legit was like blowing a fit as to how wonderful the foot traffic will be here.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend who opened up a gym once, and it was in kind of like a storage locker area. And when I remembered asking him, I was like, "Hey, bud, what's the foot traffic there look like?" And I didn't know where it was yet. And he just goes, not the best.
Yeah.
And then I was like trying to find my way in,
nice
and I
way
go,
to say it, yeah.
legitimately, are we in like a storage unit, dude? Like, what are we doing here? And he goes, that's why I was trying to tell you, the foot traffic is
huge.
not
That's
the
huge.
best. So to come here, see you guys day one, have the ability for a brand new Vaughn's, which you see people walking in and around, and not to be, very hopeful here, but a lot of kids joining their parents as they're walking around. And you always think to yourself, if I had my parents walk by one of these kinds of gyms, how different things would have been. You would have been like, oh my God, I would have learned things so much quicker.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
So hopefully that is a good omen, but
Yeah.
success on the gym location, though.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks. That was by design. We looked at a lot of places and we said, you know what, we really need to, that whole, back to location.
Yeah.
And, yes, it's more expensive, but that should pay dividends. We need strangers to come in here and that way we're not, forking over a boatload in marketing, which you'd have to do if you were off the beaten path.
I like to tell people all the time, though, it's like, we don't want this to be a secret. Like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to yell about in jiu-jitsu is sometimes they don't credential media for certain things. And I'll tell them, I'm like, why are we not telling people about this?
Right.
Like, why? It's not a secret. People should know this tournament's happening, IBJJF. Just saying.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Especially these days. I mean, everyone's on social. Look at your platform. It's blown up.
Well,
and
thank
it's
you.
Like, well, yeah, that's all the hard work and putting it in. So,
Well, we get very fortunate that it's a growing sport, and people always seem to come in with like a renewed interest. So one of the things that people forget is, as the sport gets bigger, you get new fans all the time. So you get a lot of people who are like, what is that? And a lot of the weirdness I know from my own experiences, I just thought, I'm not tough enough to do this. Like, I thought, like, you have to be criminally insane to do it. It just turns out you have to be kind of insane to do most of this. But you realize that this could also be a strategy game that really smart people can play just as efficiently as the toughest guys in the room. So that to me was a game changer when I started to realize, like, there is a spot for me in this. I can kind of do my thing. So I feel like that's why whenever parents are like, I don't know if I want my kids involved in this, you're like, I think you do.
Yeah.
You just don't know it yet because you may have something that I felt at the time, or a similar stereotype about it that you don't understand it. But once you're in it, it's like, it's
So
hard to
beneficial.
get out of it. You're just like, no, this is what you should do.
They
Yeah.
need that outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're building up our kids program. The few kids we've got now, and talking to the parents, and they're just so happy, and that makes. I mean, that's a big part of my why in terms of why we're doing this and the impact on the youth and kind of raising up
Definitely.
more confident people, guys and girls, boys and girls,
For sure.
adults as well. I see it translate to every part of your life. So now that we're in a position to have that impact, it just feels really good, and so we're looking to grow it for that reason.
I love to hear it. Okay, so Rich, same question to you, because the weird part to me is I've known you for at least 7 years now. I think we're approaching that far. 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
For
Seems
me,
like more.
it feels like we've known each other forever because we became good friends very quickly.
Sure.
And to me, this was something I knew was in the works for you for a long time. It was like, oh, I want to open a gym. You know, I'm running into this issue or that issue. But now you are here. But for you, in retrospect, now that you are in this position, what was perhaps the biggest hurdle for you to overcome?
Well, all the stuff that I did to be able to use the Sit Yat Tong name was very hard. All the fights, the training, all that stuff, you know. I dedicated myself to just being in the gym for years, and that was difficult. So other than that, more recently, just getting into the shopping center took over a year to negotiate and get ourselves in here. And it really did take a lot of patience, and I'm glad that it all worked out and that we got this spot because now it's just really awesome. I think just that whole process and going to Thailand for 5 days was kind of crazy too.
I want to get into that because you were talking about the fact that you were going to go. And I said, oh, dope. But you were going just days after really putting this place on its feet.
Yeah.
So what was the reason you were going out there? Maybe in case people don't understand, because to you, I know you just previewed it by saying it was really important for you to have the name and that maybe people don't understand the process that was important for you to clear that or to get that process done and why that trip was so necessary.
Definitely. Yeah, Sit Yat Tong is definitely a reputable gym in the Muay Thai community, you know, and it's not easy to just, you know, get a blessing to open a gym like Sit Yat Tong or something like that. So, you know, I had to talk to, you know, my coach Crew Walter, Crew Mark Delagrati. I had to talk to Crew Toy in Thailand, you know, and then I had to go out there and meet him and just get his blessing and, you know, so he knows I'm not like just some random dude or whatever, you know. So, yeah, I had to do all that, and I'm really, really glad that I did it. And the experience was so amazing to be able to go out to Thailand and train a little bit. And, like, the icing on the cake was definitely seeing Wilson Ha fight at Rajanandaram Stadium. That
What a
was
beast, dude.
such
Wilson's
an amazing
the man.
experience. Yeah, dude, he fought so well, too. But, yeah, they gave it to the Thai guy in Thailand, you know. But
As it happens every once in a while.
yeah. But what an experience for Wilson. And it was really cool to be there and rub Thai oil all over him and get him ready for his fight.
I'm sure. I'm really glad that was the top memory you had of being like,
Dude, honestly, like, it's a little different over there. They don't, like, hit pads to warm up and stuff, you know? So they literally just douse you in Thai oil and Vaseline, and then you shadow box a little bit, and then put the monkan on and the robe. And
do you like that? Because some people like going in cold and they have like, they don't care.
I couldn't say whether I like it or not because I've never experienced that while fighting. You know, I do it the way that we do it here, you know, where you hit pads to warm up and all that. That's what I'm used to. Now that I'm a little older, I feel like maybe the Thai style would be kind of nice, you know, kind of reserve some energy. But yeah, I mean, they start a little slower, I guess, too. You know? But it was just really, really cool to see how they do it over there. It's much different. And, you know, obviously the way they're doing it over there is very authentic to the Muay Thai style in Thailand. It's way different here. But yeah, it was really awesome.
I laugh because I've seen other people for jiu-jitsu tournaments not do anything and just go in. And I don't know how to do that. And I have to tell you,
I just feel like I'd get hurt.
that's what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, dude, I'm like a broken car. You got to start me up for 10 minutes before I move.
Yeah.
And you know what was interesting is I have had an issue when I was a kid. I used to take things a little too seriously in sports.
Okay.
So I would, you know, joking, fun guy that you are used to here. If I was in a sport, my thought process was don't let the team down. So I would take it so serious that people would be joking and they'd be like, "What's wrong with Raph? Like, he's not doing his normal shtick stuff." And I'd be like, "Well, I want to win. Let's work as a team. Let's do this." And it was such a difference of personality that I said, if I'm going to compete now that I'm older, maybe I can have a little more fun.
For
And
sure.
it's hard because I like to come in prepared. But this last tournament I went the loosest I've ever been. I was joking with people beforehand, had my best results.
Nice, man.
And
Oh,
I thought about that and I said, okay, maybe that's a one-time thing.
yeah.
Maybe that's something you try a few more times and see where it goes. Because to me, I just think to myself, I'm like, everybody has a different method. So
For sure.
what makes sense to one person may not be somebody else's journey.
Yeah, for me, I'm like kind of superstitious too about like just the routine before you fight. Like I try to keep a lot of stuff the same because to me it just seems like once you find something that works, like
Do
you
that.
got to stick with it. Like
Yeah.
why change it? So yeah, that would be interesting for me to go into a fight not having like hit pads to warm up and whatever. But who knows? I could end up doing better.
You know what? We don't know. It's always worth an examination. But like you mentioned, after I had this great result, I was like, is this my new thing?
Yeah, right.
Am I just coming in with shtick now? And then all of a sudden I'll be like, I guess I'm going to compete. All right, I'll make my way out there. But it always helps, I feel like, when you're competing and you're old in these jiu-jitsu tournaments because everybody's in super good mood as opposed to when I see certain people get very into their world of competing. Everybody's in a great mood because the divisions get so small that they're just happy you showed up. So they're like, dude, if you didn't sign up, I wasn't going to have a competition day.
for sure.
So, like, it's a bunch of dads talking barbecue kind of conversation where you're like, yeah. And so to me, I'm like, oh, that's kind of its dope thing in its own way. So I go, maybe that's the right mode for me. I don't know that. I don't feel that as a fact yet. But that's why when you mentioned, you're like, I don't know any better. I'm superstitious. I was like, same.
Dude, like literally, I lost my last fight that I had that I lost. There's one thing I did differently, and to this day, I'm like, was it that? And if I tell you what it was, you'd probably be like, dude, you're crazy.
We'll talk off air, but
I could talk on air too.
do you
I don't
want to
mind.
tell it?
So at least every pro fight that I had, after my weigh-ins, I always had like a dinner with like my close friends and family. Like after I made weight, get a good meal in me, just be around, people that I love. We're not even like thinking about or talking about the fight. Like just takes my mind off of it and just tell stories, laugh, whatever. But my last fight, I had such a rough weight cut. I was just like, after the weigh-ins, I was just like, fuck it, dude. I don't want to do anything. So I just went home, and that was the only fight that I didn't have that pre-fight dinner, and then I lost.
Well, not a scientist. Can't tell you yes or no.
Could be a coincidence.
It could just be a coincidence. I also happen to know that one of my favorite things about you is, I'm sure you could probably nitpick wins that you've had that maybe even though you stuck to a schedule, there was maybe something
For sure.
slightly out of the norm.
Yeah.
But by and large, you try to stay to the true essence of what those things are. I just feel like trying to replicate lightning in a bottle is also its own madness. Like trying to go like, no, don't look at me until I get out there. I have to make sure I don't walk on a crack. Like there's too much shit. Sometimes it just happens the way it is. Let me ask this. Garrett, do you have any superstitions that you've started? Because now you're in the thick of it, dude. Like now you're a guy who's in this world. Do you have any superstitions that you're doing yet?
I used to have some lucky boxers that.
Lucky boxers, okay.
That's funny.
As I got more confident in my training and my style, developing my own style, the more that's coming together, I just I don't really have too much superstition or anything like that. I have a song that I like to listen to that's gonna be my walkout song.
Are we allowed to know, or do we have to wait?
It's Be
Making my
Somebody
way
by-
downtown. Oh, not that one? Okay, not doing that one?
I would
had
not
that
be
one.
surprised.
It's between that one and no, it's Kevin Gates. Be Somebody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's been my jam. Like lately, I've just been bumping that, driving around, and I've been in like fight mode. I picture myself like walking out to this song, and
Oh, no.
don't know.
That's how you know something's coming up for you.
I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but like the walkout song that I use, like I don't like to listen to it anymore.
you play.
Okay.
Like I don't know
Brings
if it
back
just.
memories or something?
I don't think that it's just. I think for me, it's just that I got into the like habit of when I hear that song, like it's just fucking time to go. And so like for some reason now I don't really like enjoy hearing that song as much, even though it's a pretty dope song.
Yeah.
I like to tell people I had a walkout song that I don't do any of this, that I liked taken away from me. When I was in speech and debate, I would pull the guys together, and we were a national winning team, but I like to get everybody on a good mindset. So this is how many years ago it was, right as the song came out. Eminem's Till I Collapse. And I brought everybody in, and I was like, listen to this fucking song. And this is before people walked out to it. It was me going, this song will make you feel like you're going to win. Like, you listen to this, you're going to feel like the shit. And I had these speech nerds who were probably, like, afraid of Marshall Mathers. They're like, oh, no. And then all of a sudden they got in, and every one of them was like, I'm a fucking beast. I'm going to fucking do this. And I was like, right, go out there and win. Then I started seeing everybody start walking out to it. I go, nah, it's not my song anymore. So I have to pick new songs. But we're at a new fight. Now, do you need to try and win this money back now, sir?
Need is not the right word.
Okay. Need.
Definitely not on this fight.
You don't want to put on this one.
Wow.
Just because I don't know too much about one of these guys.
Okay.
And I know very little about the other.
So who do you need to know more about of?
Spivac.
Okay. I believe that is Serghei Spivac. And the thing is, with something like him, you've seen him in the backgrounds of cards. Sometimes it just takes a slight jog of memory. He recently got TKO'd by Cyril Gahn.
Okay.
So that was back in 2023, and it's not looking very good, actually. I was about to say, I was like, that's this takedown.
Remind you of one fight prior.
Yes, please, go for
Almeida
it.
just holds people down.
Yes.
Right? He's got really good grappling.
Yeah.
What were you about to say, Chris?
I was just gonna say it doesn't look good already, but look what happened last fight. Is all.
That's
I'm saying.
true.
I'm
That
10
is
bucks
true.
The wiser.
You did gain $10 here, which was a mighty bet.
Can I get a look at the fight cards so we can maybe play some other bets?
Of course, sir. I have pulled it up for you right here.
sick.
The fights that are yet. You were already talking about Yuri, and you already had a side bet ready for that and the Jamal Hill one that's coming up next.
If nobody
I'll
else
take Jiří
wants
if you
to
want
bet on Jamal Hill, I will.
I thought,
Alright,
I thought he was taking Yuri, though.
Yeah,
taking
so I'll
Jiří,
take
yeah.
Jiří,
I'll
you
take-
take
I'll take
Jamahal.
Okay.
Unless
I'm
you,
good. No,
you're the current winner, so you
Yeah.
should have first choice of everything.
But you better get your money back now. I actually have to take off after this fight.
Oh,
I've got a
really?
Prior, yeah.
Oh,
a
okay.
prior, thing.
All right.
So, yeah.
What do you mean you have? Wait, hold on. When people say they have prior things,
Yeah, what does that mean?
what does that mean? That's the sketchiest way of getting out of the show.
I have a
Prior
hair
thing.
appointment. Obviously.
You have a hair appointment. Okay, great.
I have some nefarious things
I
to
was.
It's definitely nefarious, dude. My mom might be watching this.
I have a reason, dude. Can I tell you? One of our very nice mom fans saw the show that I did live yesterday and sent the sweetest note that was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, by the way, I watched this with my mom, and her notes were less cursing." Yeah. And I was like,
That's right.
"I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to tell your mom to
Far, I'm
fuck
good
off."
on
There's
that.
no
Oh my god, dude.
So we love them, but thank you. She might be watching now. We're so
Yeah,
sorry.
see, you know, hey mom, if I love
I'm just
you,
saying, like, you came to me. I didn't. Plymouth Rock didn't happen to you. It's
That's
just,
funny.
it's what we do on this show. If I didn't do this, it would not be authentic to the show. And that is, above all,
Absolutely.
very important.
Definitely.
It's like I tell people, you were just asking right now. You're like, hey, man, before we go on air, can we curse on this? And I was like, follow my lead. If you see me curse, you're going to be just fine. And then I also realized, speaking of which, does he want to take it? I think he almost wants a knockout here, but now he's realizing he could lose the position. So looking at this, there's a nice 2-on-1 wrist control here, but it's loose. It's just a matter of if he can dump him, but he's just got the hook in that's keeping him glued to this position. And he just falls into it. That is the loosest fall into a position I have seen in some time. And also, the crossing of the feet should tell you.
I see that a lot, and I'm surprised, dude. I'm like, what?
And
You're
again,
not supposed to cross your feet like that.
you can do it if you want. No, it's generally a bad choice.
Because I can put my leg over.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an easy
Correct.
tap there.
Yeah.
What do they call it? That's like the calf slicer? Or
No.
It's not necessarily like a slicer
What you would call that?
as much as it is. It'll fuck your knee up. That's really the only
Makes your
thing.
knee feel like it's just gonna literally explode.
And it's so weird because I always feel like the best way to teach my students about it is they'll not listen to me, they'll forget it, and then all of a sudden I go, just come over here. And I go, I'm not doing the full version, just get an idea of what this feels like. And they go, this is miserable. And I was like, that's why you don't cross your feet.
Yeah, somebody did it to
I
me.
always wait till like one of my students like almost has a rear naked choke. I'll like let them get it basically if their feet are crossed, and then I'll be like, nope. You thought you had it, but nope.
Rich just reminding you like, oh, no, it's bad for you. All right. Almeida is in the mount position. It's kind of a loose mount, just throwing some kind of mix of hammer strikes and just some regular strikes from here. I mean, if there's not any protection here, it might be enough to stop. He's flattening him out. From here, taking base.
Dude,
This should be enough to give it because he's not responding, and they're going to go ahead and stop that. Almeida gets arguably
Couldn't
a
let him get
pretty
to the end
eady
of the
win.
round, huh?
Nah, dude.
Yeah, I think he was.
So what nefarious activities do you have to go take part in?
I'll tell you when you're older. I don't have an answer to that.
Could you imagine your dad saying this when you're like 40 and being like, when you're older, I'll tell you. It's like, Dad, how much older do I have to get for this?
We ain't got much longer.
Like 40 and stuff like that, yeah.
So, okay, Chris, I guess since you're going to need to start circling here, we also have to do 2 cheers this year, so we'll do that. But I want to ask you, what do you believe people can expect from this gym in the next year, in the good year of our Lord 2025? What can people expect from your gym here?
That's well said. Yeah, so we're obviously going to be pushing for huge growth, and that's going to be across all of our adult Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and MMA, but also our kids program. There's been already a lot of excitement, and we think the kids are going to come in multiples because they're going to bring their friends. Already our current kids are talking about their friends, and now we've got really good parents already, which is just as important to us as well, that are really happy with the program so far. So that makes us feel super good. That's why we're here, is to really pass on what we know, what we've been blessed to learn over the years to these kids. And so we're just trying to fill up the mats basically, and we've got we're open the way that we did it, and the reason we did it this way is that we can be open, a lot of the day, and we're open 6 days a week. It's pretty much 9 to 11 every single day, including Saturday. We were here this morning working, and then evening starting at 4:30 till about 8 or 9, depending on the class. But so just massive growth. And getting more guys doing fights. We've got a lot of students that expressed interest in getting on that path, and because Garrett's been a great example. Everyone's getting that excitement. You see the gym having some wins, and it's like, oh, I think I could do that too. And these guys that have never even thought of it. So it's really cool to see everybody kind of figuring out, wow, I had no idea what to expect, but I actually see this being kind of a bigger part of my life than I expected, and it's cool to watch.
I can only imagine what does lie in store, because you don't always know exactly how it plays out, but it is cool that even from the time you guys said you wanted a gym, you have some of these diehards in here. You already have guys who are starting to get their first fight experiences, looking to expand those to the next few years. So you're already off to a good start if they're already pulling in these wins, and the kids feel safe enough to come here and do that, because that part takes trust.
Absolutely.
It definitely does take a minute to be like, hey, kids, come simulate murder, but fun. Yay, it's great. Nonetheless, again, big cheers to you guys. This has been such an endeavor. And I know one of my favorite things that Rich told me years ago, it's like a year and a half ago, is he was like, Chris and I, we're getting close. We're thinking we're going to do this. We're going to go in together, and we're really going to make this work. And it's so easy to dismiss people when they say stuff like that. Yeah. But my initial thought was, I was like, I think you're a good help for Rich, because you can help him in ways that I knew he needed at the time. Yeah. So it's been really cool to watch that journey of you guys combining forces for a dream that perhaps maybe you didn't know you wanted individually, but then when you came together, you found equal ways to make it happen for the other part.
Yeah, that's very well said. Again, Rich has been my best friend for years. I've seen, all of his fights, and was, met him when he was just turned a blue belt. And so, so I've trained under him as well. And so just watching him and the wake of respect and sort of discipline that he casts, and I mean, he just has this great following. And it's like, I've kind of always been in the middle of that and seen it and witnessed it, and people, it's contagious. Do we want to comment?
Thanks, brother.
This
Appreciate you.
You made it. Yeah, man.
I'm. You know what it is? I multitask here. I have a few things I'm going to bring up. The response I had was he basically, Almeida said, Cyril Gahn, you need to stop running.
Oh.
And then
okay.
translator Sean Shelby is in, and I'm waiting here, the building. There are a lot of lightweights. And this dude who looks like a Temu version of Chris Nolan is his translator right
I
now.
was
So
thinking, who does he look like?
it's giving me a second here.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the part that you guys, I don't know if you can fully hone in on because the lights are deceiving. There are a lot of empty seats right now.
Yeah, that's
And
kinda
Is that what that is?
really fucking pisses me
the
off
chick?
as an audience guy.
Wow.
Like, those seats are sold. And I could understand not being there for the prelims, but it is main card. What the fuck are you doing paying that much money
That's crazy.
and not being there for that? And hard cam side, like, if you're doing the shot,
Yeah, wow.
like, that's the stuff you fill in first. So, just so you guys know, I worked audiences for Jay Leno for about 5 years. So I have a PTSD of like every day around 2 o'clock, I start thinking like, oh shit, I don't even work there anymore. But are those seats filled? Like, that show doesn't exist, but my brain thinks that. Mario Lopez in the crowd, a very respectable purple belt in the world of jiu-jitsu. Bilal Muhammad, who is going to be defending very, very soon. Tatiana Suarez in the crowd as well. And then, of course, Pantoja. I mean, that's a good get-up. Honestly, if you're going to go, but he's Lake Show in the Clipper building.
Yeah, interesting.
That's a choice. Okay. DDP and Strickland 2, that is taking place, I want to say, is it February? I can't see the exact date because the crawl
It
is
does look
over
like
that one.
February 8th.
It's February 8th?
Looks like it.
Okay. Our kids are competing that day, so I'm not watching that one. All right. Well, I'll catch it on the phone. Nonetheless, super stoked. Why don't we do this? We'll take care of these 2 cheerses, and then we can figure out what your business is.
To refill my beverage real fast.
Why don't you go do that off camera, and then we will resume from there. I'm okay for now. You good?
I'll take a little of yours.
You could use a refill as well. All right, I'll fill the time. Hi, everybody. You're watching The Grappling Hour. My name is Rafa Esparza. This is a show where we talk to everybody in the world of jiu-jitsu, MMA, kickboxing, you name it. So if you like the show, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. It really does make a difference. You can also catch us on patreon.com if you are so inclined to support the show, and that is patreon.com/grappling hour. You can see our interviews 30 days before anybody else. You can also find us, oh my God, they literally just have Alex Pereira dancing, and then goes from dancing to muscle up. Him and his coach are always in a good mood, so props to them. You guys can catch us there. You can also catch us on Spotify and also on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you're watching this. We're at Grappling Hour on all of those different broadcast means. So hopefully you like what you're seeing. Hopefully you follow us for the great interviews and content that we do otherwise here. But we will be keeping tabs on all things throughout the week. So make sure to chill with us and your good pals over at Verbal Tapcast. We are on both of those sides. So just to give you guys the rundown on these. Did somebody say they're going to get a Budweiser with this dude? He doesn't drink Budweisers. That's silly. All right. Justin Gagey in the house as well. I know because I also saw one of my good friends pay an exorbitant amount of money for the meet and greet just to take a photo with as a fangirl with him. But that is going to be a 5-round co-main event. That is Dan Hooker and Justin Gagey. That's a good fight. That'll be very fun to watch. Gentlemen, I'll walk you through how the cheers goes, because for this particular case, what we do here is we do a toast. So if everybody would lift a glass, this one goes out to the Riddler, a.k.a. the Ritter. Congratulations on your submission, your rear naked choke win. I didn't see that coming. And it's not to say you're not a good fighter. It's just surprise. First of all, you didn't see that coming.
Okay, but
you saw the win coming, but you don't get to take advantage and say, because everybody here was like,
fine.
Anyway,
That's fair.
nonetheless, congratulations on your win. You make a great addition to the UFC. It's good to see you finally getting your props. Cheers to you, good sir.
Cheers.
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 Cheers. Spit it out.
All right. So for Jailton Almeida, someone should take that cheers. It was literally the fight we just saw, and it was a TKO via punches. So who would like to take that? I think since you're leaving, you have to take it, actually.
When you're saying take it, what does that mean?
You have to
Toast
lead
it?
the toast, yeah.
Okay. Here's to another UFC finish, which, as you mentioned earlier, is rare and difficult. And
Jailton Almeida.
thank you. Yes. Cheers.
Cheers to
Great
that
win.
guy. Yes.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
You're a gracious host.
Cheers. Spit it out.
Twice now. I did.
Let me see. Just do me a solid. Let me see if I can cut this in post. Just lift your drink up like this.
Yeah.
This toast goes out to Jailton. I want to say congratulations for you and all the greatness that you've done. I cannot believe that you won by TKO of punches in round 1 of fight number 2
Am I moving?
at 4:53. Win via TKO. Everyone drink up. Cheers.
That's nice.
See? There you go.
Subtitles. Thank you.
I'll take care of that in the
Thank you.
future. I just realized, I'm like, whatever happens on these things, people are like, how do I do a toast? I was like, have you not been anywhere
No,
to
I
a
didn't.
bar?
I just forgot his name.
I
Straight
know
up.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know that. That's
Just
pretty
tell me
straight
that,
up.
and I'll take
I
care
was
of it.
trying to be, yeah. Got you.
That's
so funny.
When you
Cheers.
head out here in a second, if you wouldn't mind taking this
Yes, sir.
underneath,
Oh,
that would be
oh.
perfect. Oh,
I'll
you
keep
want to
that.
you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
keep it?
'cause
Oh,
there's
never mind.
still-
There's still a
Sorry,
little
I
bit
thought you
there.
wanted something.
Yo, shout out to Drew Sklove.
Hey.
Looks like, oh, my boy. Hail. Oh, dude. This is a great day for a lot of my friends. My homie Cam Hurd taking home a medal. Don't know exactly what. And it looks like Drew Sklove also medaling at ADCC in San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what? Hey, cheers to that. Drew
Hey.
Sklove. Love that guy. Much
to
love
Matt.
and
He's all right.
appreciation him.
Cheers. to
Cheers.
Drew.
Oh, I didn't.
This time you got it.
I love the idea. You said that he's all right.
I'm just kidding. I love that guy.
I'm about to say. I was like, dude, Drew and I talk a lot of shit to each other.
Dude,
Absolutely.
shout out to Drew Sklove. That guy's been around since the very beginning
Yeah.
of my training at all. Bomb Squad MMA, street sports, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, street sports, Simi Valley.
Did you
Kenny Bond,
Did you
Timmy
see this guy? Did you see Drew have this incredible moment where he suplexed somebody?
yeah.
Recently?
I did.
Did you?
Brutal.
Okay, I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. That was the finishing move of Goldberg. Literally lifted him up and slammed him down, and I put the footage side by side, and it looked perfect. And Drew sent me a note that was like, wow, that's impressive. And I was like, you don't know your own work? Like, you don't know what you did? Like, dude, you should not be able to lift people like this. And I started telling him, I was like, just so you understand, when you get to be old, Drew, you aren't able to do this. And my man hit me with something that I was not ready for. Drew was like, brother, I'm not far off from you. And I was like, how old are you, Drew? And he hit me with an age that I was not prepared for him to tell me. And I was like, you're like 3 years younger than me. Oh, my God. And that dude is in solid shape.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
So normally I like to tell people, like, you kids, you don't understand. I was like, he's not far off.
Right. Yeah, he works hard.
So, nonetheless, we move on to our third fight. Now, this one, I believe there is a wager. Let's remind the people what the wager is on this one for you, Rich.
How much, you want 10 or 20? 10? All right.
Okay.
I got $10
Hey.
on Jamal.
Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much, brother. Good to see you, my man.
What do you got, brother?
This will be. If Jiří loses, this will be the third fight that I've lost betting on you.
So,
I lost both the fights against.
just quick point of clarification. Would this be a gambling problem at some point? Like, do you feel like you're having too many things happening to you like this, sir?
Right? me
could
and his
be a
girl, me and
serious
his girlfriend
question.
always bet against each other.
Oh,
on the
okay.
fights.
So this is beneficial for
They both
Rich.
love to bet on the fights.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you know what's so funny is we ran into a couple logistical issues, and Rich was so kind in saying, like, oh, we could just do the fights at my girl's place. And I was like, thank you. I'm also not trying to invite myself over here with all of this setup now that you see it.
No worries, man. We were ready for that.
But
Shout out to Maria for actually offering that.
that's very sweet of her. So please pass my best to her. I think that is incredibly
Maria
nice.
Garcia.
Look at that. Look at that. Hearts. So, Rich, she also trains, correct?
She does.
Okay. What is that like for you? Because for you, I know it's got to be crazy that you do all this training, and sometimes you get with partners who you're like, I have to explain what training is. I have to explain how crazy all this is. Doesn't it feel nice to have somebody who just kind of knows that world and goes, yeah, I get it?
Totally. Yeah, it's totally different. I've never dated anybody that's kind of on the level as far as the schedule of training. I mean, yeah, it's train hard in the morning. I mean, at least for me here, it's more like teach.
Yeah,
but, you
Well-
know, teach / train, you know, clean up the gym. I'm pretty tired after that just in the morning, and then, you know, you got to go home, get some rest, take a little nap usually. To most people, that sounds kind of crazy, you know, like, what? You, like, wake up and go do something and then just, like, sleep for an hour? And it's like, yeah, I got it. That's the schedule. But it's really cool being with somebody that's on that and gets it. It would be really cool to do a fight while she's my girlfriend and have that support.
That support,
That's something that I've
Yeah.
never experienced.
That's fair.
But
Him and her both cornered me in my last fight.
How was that, Garrett?
It was good. Yeah, I liked having her there too as well. Like, she was telling me to jab more, and I remember doing that in my fight too. Like, so.
That's amazing. And, you know, it is weird because you don't see a ton of people who basically co-cage, like, together in that way. So I'm sure that has to be a unique experience for you. Let me ask this. Was she also doing the filming as well?
No, I
Or
don't
did
think
somebody
so.
else do the
Somebody
filming?
else did
Somebody
the
else was doing it.
filming,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought I saw a post. I probably was incredibly wrong, but I thought that she was filming some of the posts or some of the
She
highlights.
does always get some good videos and pictures of, like, whatever we're doing. But yeah, she was cornering with me.
Nice.
So
Hell yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, so super cool to,
That was cool.
to have that. And
Yeah.
she helps me teach classes here too, like the kids, the adults, everything. So she's been super cool.
Good for you, Rich. I'm glad that you have that because
Thank
it
you.
is
Yeah,
very
I'm glad
funny to
too.
me that Kelly, my wife, she does this where she goes, "Why don't you tell me when you're competing?" And I go, "You don't care. Like, I know you pretend you care, but you at your core do not." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "I appreciate your support, but you know how I know you don't care?" She's like, "Why?" I go, "Because you'll text me like, 'Are you still in jiu-jitsu?' And I go, "Yeah, because I'm trying not to suck at it." Like, I don't know how to tell you. Like,
That's a good way to put it.
like you show up to go train. You don't, like, stay there to be like, well, let's see how much worse I can get. You're like, I am obsessed with getting better, and that takes time. And she'll be like, fine.
Yeah.
So I go, if you really support me, and then you're there for the shitty parts too. So having a partner who understands that, like, you're supportive in a different way is what I like to tell her. But all right, cool. So let me ask this, Garrett, for you in this fight,
Yeah.
you have a certain way that you're going, but is there any particular reason why you are going the way you're going in this fight?
Yeah, Yuri's style has always just been. I've liked it. I've liked it.
You've
a lot.
liked it, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Yuri is incredible
him
to
versus
watch.
Teixeira was the greatest fight I've ever seen in my life. Like, to this day, I remember. I think I had money on it with a friend, which makes it a little bit more
Yeah.
exciting, you know. But yeah, that 5th round rear naked choke was. I knew he had that dog in him after that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And
He was the champ for a while after that, and then he lost to. I forget who he lost the belt to after that. But
well,
Yeah.
I'll go this way. Did he lose it to Glover?
no, he got it from Glover.
Oh, he got it from Glover.
had
My apologies. That's what
Yeah.
I had reversed. Because there was the fight with Glover that I said, there's no way he's winning this fight.
Yeah.
And then he won the title, and I was like, how did
Yeah,
this
ever
like,
since that fight, I was a big fan.
yeah. Okay. Rich, you're going a certain way. What prompted you to go a certain way in this fight?
I'm going for Jamal Hill. I like his style. He's got some solid hands. I think it's a good matchup for him, and I'm sure he's super hungry. Isn't the last fight that he had the one that he lost to Pereira?
I think,
He was
Both of
kind
them.
of
yeah.
saying stuff about how it happened and all that drama. So I'm sure he's hungry after that.
You definitely want to get some respect back on there, but his last 2 losses were to Pereira. But in between those was the Alexander Rakic fight, where he did get a finish. But yes, it was before the second Alex Pereira fight. It was the Glover Teixeira fight, the Dominic Reyes win, the Volkan Ozdemir. He got a win over him.
KOs.
So, like, the weird part that people forget with Yuri is he was on a tear from, like,
knocked out.
literally 2016. So one of his last fights in I mean, actually going all the way from his run in Ryzen all the way through to the UFC 251 debut that he had. A really respectable, incredible run. And then you run into somebody like Alex Pereira and you go, well, that's just a weird dude.
Yeah.
The kids can come over
Well, the
here.
second one was really bad too. Like the head kick knockout was.
Oh,
just-
my God, yeah.
The very first strike of the second round.
Absolutely. So, super excited to have. It looks like we're joined here by some friends. Look at this.
Hey. What's that?
How listen, this is great and wonderful to see. Oh my God, that's how you can tell these kids missed you. You literally have been on air for less than an hour, and they're like, "No, where have you been?"
Watch some fights.
Say
Say hi.
How you guys doing? We're good. You guys invested in the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who do you want
that's
to
what's
win?
up.
I want to win at the weights.
Red shorts.
You want to win at the fights? Red shorts or black shorts?
Black shorts.
Black shorts.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's my guy.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, buddy?
Red shorts.
Huh? Oh, he's going red shorts. He's Team Garrett.
I like that
Team
she's
Jailton.
like,
Give him a high five.
he's like, I don't know. I got to see it out. He goes, get back to me after the
Thanks,
first
Charlie.
round, and then I'll let you know.
He's into the fight.
No, super
He's
locked
like, I'm
in,
just
dude.
watching my red guy.
Absolutely. All right. So for this, you respect the warrior spirit, Garrett,
Yeah.
of Yuri.
That's
who
what I was
again-
gonna say. What I really like about him too is like he's really into meditation and
Yeah.
all that stuff, which I like to do too. So, I think that's why I'm kind of drawn to him too.
Well, I mean, think about it like this for Yuri. It's just he disappears into the wilderness for like 3 days at a time and then comes back. And I go, there is no other life for you.
Yeah.
Like this is the life you had to. You couldn't be an accountant and just be like, I gotta go to the woods for 4 days and not talk to anybody. It's like, bro, that's not what you do as an accountant.
Yeah.
So, good on him for finding his fight and his passion.
Relax for them.
And it's to be determined if that's been helping him though, doing that kind of stuff. Unless he's been.
That's a
doing
good
it his
call.
whole career.
I think that
just
he-
started doing it.
I think that he has. I think the weird part is, we talked a little bit about superstitions, right? We don't know what these guys' superstitions are fully. Like they tell you what it is because they know there's a certain on-camera appearance you want to keep.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean they're giving you all the deck of the cards they're playing with.
No. Yeah.
So that's why to me I'm like, sometimes people let you know what they want you to know.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of fill in the blanks. But Yuri has had some incredible wins. We mentioned that. But then looking over Jamahal Hill, and maybe you're the youth here, you can tell us a little bit about him. For Jamahal Hill, what is... Oh, nice knockdown here.
Yeah.
And he's looking to try and even pass the guard, but I did not like turning away like that. That was a weird split-second decision, but both gentlemen are back up to feet. Jamahal looked like he almost connected, but it just temporarily moved Yuri. Didn't really do much. Yuri connects again. Now they're just in the center of the octagon, exchanging 146 left to go in this very first round of 3. Nice return there by Jamahal Hill.
Can I put some?
Yeah, you can put a little bit.
Oh.
Am I doing this right?
I think you are. I think it's just the angle. There we go.
They definitely both have something to prove coming off
That
those losses.
100%,
to
yes.
Pereira. They're both pissed.
What I was about to ask you,
Both of their
as
last loss was to Pereira, huh?
yep, as the youth
I
correspondent
know,
here,
they put the two-
Garrett, my question to you is, what has been up with Jamahal Hill? Because there was some stuff that was happening at the UFC Performance Institute. Did you see any of what that was?
where he was
Confronting.
Jamal or to Pereira.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Pereira wanted to spar him, and
Yeah.
he didn't want to.
He was like, put on the gloves. Let's go ahead and do it. And he was like,
Yeah,
I gotta go, bro.
honestly,
I actually
his,
got this thing.
What?
I actually got this thing.
yeah,
Yeah, like, so sorry.
Well,
You
his
didn't know.
whole thing with how he thought Pereira took a step forward during the. Yeah, I thought that was a little like. I mean, yeah, there was a little step there, but I don't know. It just
To
it
me,
seemed like an excuse to me.
it's
Like
always-
you gotta know where he's at. Like at all.
I like
times.
one thing I try to keep in mind is I like doing jokes with fighters. I like being friendly with them. But I feel like sometimes fighters forget that they're fighters, like and that they're friends or enemies with other fighters. So when they're like, "Yeah, you want to do this," and the other fighter goes, yeah, that's what we do. They go, oh, right, I wasn't
No
expecting that.
attacks in the
Yeah.
microphone.
Okay, I didn't really have a follow-up here. I was just kind of hoping this would resolve itself. All right, dude, I got to go. This was
Yeah,
fun.
That's like the next step. Yeah.
But I think the weirdest thing that people forget is half the time when other fighters see other fighters, they're like, oh, I have no issue fighting. You'll find it very quickly when they go, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
let's do this. And I go, oh, right. Yep.
Yeah. Like getting punched.
Wrong.
Jamal got kind of tagged up in that round.
He did, and now they're trying to treat him, so they're very quickly addressing the blood on his nose. Looks like it's minor, but it was enough that it was starting to make it bleed.
Swollen too.
Yeah.
Not looking good.
That's, you know, hey, listen, man, that eye, a little more swollen than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Didn't really pay attention to that in that last round.
Ooh.
Just a
Nice.
jab or like a.
Ooh, yeah. Pff. Some of us wish our jabs were as effective
Well,
as
he
that.
was, yeah, I think that was a cross. He was standing southpaw.
Yeah.
But I think he just switches back and forth. He's super unorthodox. And
All right, we now go. Well, what happened there? I think that was not the camera angle I'm looking for. Let me see here.
There's water over there, baby. You gotta ask Nana. Go get Nana, okay?
All right. We go into the second round right now. If you guys are watching along, thank you so much. Nice kick there by Jiří. Just letting him know what he is capable of. You know, it's so weird. I guess mentally, I'm not prepared for this to be just a 3-rounder based on their previous fights. So it's taking me a second to adjust to that. Yeah, dude. And it looks like Sean Sheehan is saying a 10-9 Jiří round, which I would agree with. So in round number 2, 4:16 left to go. Things already off to a good start for Jiří. Jamal didn't look super outclassed in that. He definitely connected a couple times on his own. But Jiří seems to be feeling himself in a way that is problematic in building the momentum. Woo! Look for a jumping knee there, but didn't even have to connect just to make us see the speed of it. All right. You're doing the classic thing here, Garrett, of when somebody is more locked in on a video game and they start to sit up a little bit more.
yeah.
Is this perking your interest in this fight?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you went from this of like, okay, I'm entertaining the fight.
Yuri's looking like he's got some more pop on his
Ah.
strikes than Jamal. So
I would agree.
I'm thinking there's going to be a knockout in this round.
Okay, this round.
Yeah, this round.
Okay. Is that concerning you at all, Rich?
I'm definitely concerned.
You know, Yuri needs a knockout for his comeback. You know, after coming off of two
So
knockouts like that.
when you call this a comeback, where do you think it goes next if he does beat him here?
Maybe a third fight.
A third fight with Pereira?
They've
Damn,
talked
dude.
about that, but
You got to earn it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
who else could he fight?
That's the weird part about Pereira in that division is it just makes it so difficult to figure out, like, well, what else do you do?
Yeah, just go up to heavyweighter.
And there was talk. I think the holdup for the Pereira going up a weight class, according to his coach, is they would need almost like a 6-month run, is what they were saying. They need a certain amount of time to get him up there because
Put on some weight.
anybody could just get fat. But getting fat and fighting up another weight class is a different beast into itself.
Yeah, you want to put on some muscle.
Exactly. And you need to be adjusted to that. It's one thing to maybe put on the muscle, but your whole body doesn't fight the right way mentally.
Yeah.
So it's getting adjusted to that as well.
Do a bunch of training at that weight.
Yeah.
Get used to it. For
And
sure.
it
That's smart.
does make you ooh.
happened?
Calling for time here. Let's see exactly why. Amazing. Let me see here. I did notice somebody else was following us. So shout out if you guys are giving us a new follow here. Is that
I need to get to head.
oh
Oh.
is it like a poke? I didn't see it the initial time, though. And he is taking the first 30 seconds of... Oh, he's giving the thumbs up. Can I tell you, at the most recent... Well, not the most recent. Well, one of the most recent competitions I did, somebody eye poked me. And it was the first time I experienced that in some kind of elevated sparring session, if you would. That is competition. He eye pokes me, and I have this reaction like, do I have 5 minutes? Like, how does this work? Because I don't know. It's jiu-jitsu, not this. But I'm always thinking, like, I get 5 minutes, right? And I don't have my glasses as is, so I'm blind. So I'm like, okay. And this dude hits me with a joke. So he's over to the side, and I'm like, oh, God. And the ref's like, are you good? I was like, just give me a second. I'll be fine. And he looks at me, and the opponent says, damn, dude, they really got to change these gloves. Meaning like the UFC gloves. And I'm over to the side being like, I want to be pissed at this dude, but that's a really funny joke. And I don't know what to do. So I just looked at him and I go, good job. Yes, yes. And then I went back over. But it was the first time that I had that happen where I thought, I was like, dude, if you already feel blind when you're competing as is, the worst thing that happens then is like, well, I guess I'm going all the way Daredevil on this one.
How did you recover from that? Like, okay? Or?
I did okay. I mean, the weird part is it didn't make me win or lose anything. It just made me kind of realize, like, it could have been worse. It was not. But my immediate thought was, is it going to impair my performance? Yeah. Because I feel like one of the reasons why I feel striking is this boat that like gets further and further away from me is that I'm like, I like striking. I like learning it. But when some of these guys at my gym, they're like, why don't you spar? Why don't you do this? And I go, I don't have the speed anymore. And I go, and if you can't see, it's not fun to just get hit. Yeah. Like, sparring's fun. Everybody likes that.
But not if you're just getting hit.
But if you're just getting hit, it's not really for everybody. And I go, and the second part is, I think there's things that if I did see it coming, I'd like to think I'd have a better reaction to it. Like, then you slip better. Then you move a little bit better. I always feel like I'm a half second behind, whereas in grappling, if I'm a half second behind, I just go like, oh, I can fix this. Talk us through what's going through your mind, Rich, as you're watching this now.
Not looking that great.
Yeah?
Which sucks because
I'm so sorry, dude. But you can appreciate it as a fight, though.
He's landed the right hand right there. I do got to say, though, that's my favorite ref in there.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
Of all your refs, that is your guy.
100%.
Okay, I see you. I mean, I'll say this. Getting to know him over the years, one of the first things he did for me as a photographer at like a local MMA show, you had Beltran who saw me and I was at a wrong angle for one of the fights. And he literally turned the fighter to me to make sure they got their post-fight win photo.
That's cool, bro.
So it's like I had my back to him. It was just trying to get like a shot or two for establishment. And then it saw me, made eye contact, and just like brought the fighter and like pointed him at me.
Some next level shit, Mike.
And I thought, yo, that's super nice, dude, because it's not just good for me, it's good for the fighter, it's good for everybody. Oh, yeah. But it was a true pro move where I go, oh, damn, he doesn't even know who I am. So that's dope.
I love that guy, man.
Yeah, he's good people.
He's refed a couple of my like crazy fights.
And you know what's weird? I'm pretty sure what is always evident by watching him in these moments is that this is a dude who's just as equally geeked out on violence, like as a ref. Like totally is watching like, shit, how's this going to turn out?
Mike Beltran?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome, bro.
Yeah, he's repped a few of your fights, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Dude, I swear I wouldn't have won the fight against Jailton Turner if Mike Beltran wasn't the ref.
That's fair. Because Beltran definitely gave everybody time, like, all right, let's see how this works.
He easily could have stopped that fight, and I could have lost, 100%. And I couldn't have been too mad about it either. I was pretty hurt in that fight.
I mean, you could. You're just in a place now where you're like, oh, man, speaking of which, look at Yuri right now. As he's getting hit, is like, no, hit me with more. What a great invitation.
Jamahal Hill was landing a lot more that round.
He was. You are correct. But that left side of his face is starting to pile up.
Yeah.
Are we 1-1?
That's very... it's possible. It is very possible.
I don't know.
I don't know enough
All
to...
I'm saying is Jamahal Hill needs a knockout now.
You would probably be correct.
So I can get my $10.
I like that the bank of Leroy is like Well, I have dividends from Chris
Yeah, right.
and from Garrett. So, Garrett.
Take it out of my dues.
Li- Garrett, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you were to pick a fighter that you, because people may not know who you are,
Yeah.
if there's a fighter that you think emulates you or that you try to emulate, who would that fighter be? Your fight style.
Yeah. My fight style. I don't know. I guess, and this might sound a little cocky, but kind of like Sean O'Malley a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like, because I like he has like this long cross that he does that I feel like I kind of
Okay.
throw a little bit
He's
sometimes.
been starting to come with a little bit of the head movement and stuff lately.
Okay.
So I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that coming up.
Okay. Good to know. I like that
My
you're
last
like.
fight, I was a little bit bigger. I fought at 170 to 180, but usually I sit at like 150. You know, that's what I want to fight
Damn,
at.
bro, you're gonna go down to 150.
Yeah. Cut
'Cause
down to 150.
I'm looking at you right now, and like 150 didn't jump at me right away. We'll
Yeah.
be
You
honest.
Right now I'm like 175.
Well, I could
Yeah.
see that. Yeah. At first, you know, it was
A lot
weird.
of water weight though.
when he said that, he said 170, and my brain went 5, and I didn't hear you say the 5 yet. I just heard 170.
Right.
I was like,
He said 170, and you're like 9.99999.
like, bro, let's be real. I gotta. Ooh, Yuri wants a finish.
Oh,
He
come
heard
on.
you, Rich, and said, "No, I'll finish this
Dang it.
instead."
Dude, Jamal Hill's not looking good.
I mean, this is a tough fucking fight for him, man.
Totally.
Woo! But he is weathering part of the storm, not all of it.
Yeah.
Still there. 3:49 left to go. I mean, Yuri just came in incredibly aggressive in this.
Yuri's cardio looks better too.
Agreed. So you were asking a little bit earlier what it was Jamal Hill's previous
Yeah.
fights have looked like. For him, of course, the last was the loss to Alex Pereira. He has wins over Glover Teixeira before that, Thiago Santos, Johnny Walker, and Jimmy Crute. He does have a loss to Paul Craig and a win over OSP. So, I mean, some good talent. I don't know if it's as consistent and as top tier.
Paul Craig.
He broke his arm.
TKO versus elbows and punches.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
It was kind of a wild fight. You know what the weird part is? That was during, not the full COVID era, but like that return to them coming back, like July 2021.
Okay.
A lot of that era gets blurred to me because of all the Apex fights. So, like, I can remember it, but it takes longer.
Yeah.
I feel like everything pre-COVID is like lock. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then somebody will remember, they'll be like, hey, do you remember when this person fought this person? I go, oh my God, they did. Oh my God. That was an Apex, right? They go, yeah. I go, yep, totally in the back of my mind, but need to be jogged. Oh!
Hey.
Yuri may be looking in on a
Hill was
finish
just
here.
tagging him up
Dude,
before
yeah,
that.
Wow.
Seriously.
Hit him with a knee and
Jamal Hill is under duress, but finds his way back up.
Come with those knees again.
And Yuri is not stopping. He smells blood in the water with 208. Basically swats him back to the ground. Jamal Hill survived this once, thrice.
Come on, do something.
May not be the time as Beltran pushes him off. And Yuri is going to take another win there. Congratulations to him.
oh yeah.
Wow. I mean, what an incredible performance by Yuri on this.
That was great.
Yuri's
That was a good
back.
fight.
He needed that.
And I am 0-2 betting.
You are 0-2 betting, but that's okay. At least this fight was clearly a bigger banger. Like, this was something that I'm like, you got to at least see Jamal Hill try to fight back, even if it was all for naught. You know what? Okay, so let me tell you the part that always makes me nervous. I'm not. How do I put this? I'm not as nervous watching Yuri fight as I am with him after the fight. Like, after the fight, I feel as when he is an insane person. During the fight, it somehow makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, I go like, oh, that's just a dude who's good at fighting. Good on him.
Yeah,
And then
like a bunch of
afterwards,
madness.
he literally, they'll like pull him away. he'll have a moment where they go, hey, come with us real quick. And then he immediately goes into like this death stare of, and you go, you don't feel anything? Like, you should feel happy. That was pretty dope. And he just goes into this weird, stoic, he's not here anymore. I don't think he's okay. Like, you could be having a conversation. He may not hear you.
Yeah.
That's going to be the fight cam that shows, I think, not just Yuri's corner. Sometimes they show the losing corner. Well, everybody's walking around in the cage. And Yuri makes his way on over to the entrance of the cage. Oh, where is he hugging it? Oh, I think it's his coaches. And shout out to the Bruce Buffer attire today.
You want another soda?
Definitely.
I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
Yes, please. Thank you. All right, Garrett. It's me and you right now. Garrett, I want to ask this.
Yeah.
When you're looking at fights like this, though, and, you know, you're a week removed from having your stuff happen, right? Mm-hmm. Does it inspire you? Does it make you want to go back out there and fight, like, right away?
Right? Yeah, it makes me want to go run right now.
Oh,
Go
run.
get a little 3-mile
Well, don't
run.
run. Don't run right now.
I know.
We want you still here, sir. I do have a friend who legitimately, I want to say after a fight night last week, at like 3 a.m. in the morning, went to go on a run.
Oh, really?
And he's a fighter, so I'm like, I can't be mad at you, but I also go like, brother,
Yeah.
what? I don't want to take away your inspiration, but like, dude, why are you running like right now at 3 a.m. like a madman?
Yeah.
So anyway, let us do.
Yeah,
this.
I was on all that, like hitting the late night runs.
Oh,
and
yeah?
Getting ready for this fight for
Okay.
sure. I took it to the next level. So I've been taking it easy since then. For
Okay.
Sure.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah. Just want to chill out and get ready. So there's a tournament, a PMT tournament actually at the Commerce.
When
in
is that?
April 27th, I think.
Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
that.
there's gonna be like 5 different mats there and like VIP sections and everything.
Oh,
It's gonna
sick.
be like a pretty like big little tournament.
And that's the next thing you're targeting.
I think so. Yeah, that'll probably be like my last like PMTs before
Okay.
I try an amateur fight.
Hell yeah,
An
dude.
Amateur Muay Thai or jump in and do an amateur MMA fight.
Dude, I cannot wait for that. It sounds like you have a nice planned out sort of series of things that you want to do here. So
Yeah.
I'm all about
I
that, man.
I got to get on it too because I'm 33. So I'm not saying that that's like too old.
It's
but
not the
a-
worst. It's not
Yeah.
the best. You know what I mean? Like, you fall right in the middle.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the weird part is you hope out there's another 33-year-old they pair you up with
Yeah.
that you're like, yo,
But
I
no,
hope.
I was just telling Chris that actually earlier today that I see myself fighting like a 22-year-old and like I don't feel like they have like the life experience to hang with me in the ring. Like a young 22, 23, 24-year-old. Like
I feel.
maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel. Like I've been through more like shit
Yeah.
than these kids, and I don't care how much like training they got. Like I'm just gonna once they get hit, it's
Oh, dude, it's a huge equalizer because people forget.
experience versus youth.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, the nice part is I tell people this, like, especially when they come in and they start doing jiu-jitsu, my favorite person is the person who I can tell is like, I think this person just thinks I'm old. Like, okay, sure, you're not wrong. I am old as fuck. And
As fuck.
and I
You're
tell
just
people,
old as shit.
thank you. Thank you. I'm working at old as fuck. I'm old as shit right now. But I always like to tell people this. There's a joke at our gym where they're like, you know how there's like a mat enforcer? And we're like, yeah. And they go like, Raph is like the opposite. And I go, what does that mean? They go, you actually look not like the mat enforcer and you let them do whatever the fuck they want. And then at some point you just get bored and go like, all right, now I'm going to beat them up.
Yeah.
And they go, and it's actually worse because the mat enforcer, like they sent this dude to fuck me up.
Yeah.
With you, it's like, they tricked me. What is this? So it looks like, actually,
Is he calling him out?
I think he might be pointing out to him, can't wait to see you inside of the octagon. So that might be a back to Alex Pereira. Oh, no, he's dedicating this to that woman who is facing cancer, who he shaved his head in solidarity. So she had shaved
That's awesome.
her head in a similar fashion to his head and to returned the favor. He basically took off all his head and said, "Hey, this is a woman who's battling much more than what I am," and made an example of that. So super cool thing to see from Alex.
Very cool.
Or I'm sorry,
Yuri.
not Alex, Yuri. Thank you. But nonetheless,
That does kind of go to kill my superstition theory too. Like,
Which
wasn't
is?
he superstitious about that ponytail? And then he just cuts it off and he
kind
fights
of
amazingly.
yes.
I think it was like his trademark. Like that thing was, the ponytail.
What's up with Brian Ortega?
Brian Ortega's just out there living life, bro. He don't care. Like, you know what it is?
I saw him at the last Up Next fights.
Yeah, he comes over there
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah,
The Commerce.
dude, he makes his way because he's got fighters who come out and he'll support. But you know what he lives in? He lives in that like pretty boy bubble. Like, he's a good looking dude, and he kind of has that thing where things kind of work out for him outside of MMA, where it's like you'll see him at fights and he's just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm in a good mood." And you're like, I bet you're going home and banging like a 10, dude.
Yeah.
Like, good for you, man. So I can't be mad at you. Can't hate on that. But nonetheless, we have a dope fight coming up very shortly. But, Rich, Garrett was walking us through his kind of MO. It looks like on April 27th, he's got another thing coming up here. So it looks like he's going to be doing a tournament format, right?
The PMT one at
Yeah.
Commerce? Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, I don't know how many matches it's going to be in one day, but it'd be a cool experience for him to have before he turns amateur to, deal with the nerves and all of that of fighting multiple fights in one day.
Yeah.
I just want him to get as much experience as he can before he turns amateur. That way he can just put all that knowledge in his belt and just be as ready as he can.
I feel that.
To any situation.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So, you know what's weird? The way you took the photos, and I don't know if I'm right or I'm wrong on this because you know I'm way
For
better
his
than me.
fight, or
Well, his last PKB.
yeah,
Okay. You took one of those photos where he makes weight, right?
yes,
And then the shirtless one, I was like, yo, some of your tats, those are cool, but you looked similar to my buddy Andrew that you had, your buddy Andrew, actually.
Mastoa?
Yeah, kind of. I was like, at first I was like,
his face.
for a split second, I thought, I was like, is Mastoa coming out? I was like, and who's letting him fight a PKB right now? Because doesn't this dude have more experience? And then I had to do a double take once I saw the tattoos. I go, oh, I don't think those are Andrew. Oh, it's not Andrew. It's Garrett. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you personally yet.
Yeah.
But a part of me was like,
What is happening?
did basically Leroy go like, hey, Andrew, what are you up to? I know you got a kid and all. It's all good. Come take a fight and do a PKB for fun.
He's wearing like an Under Armour with like fake tattoos on
That's
it.
what I wondered too. I had a split second.
Well, dude, one of the funniest things was after his PMT, I was leaving, and I'm like walking outside, and the opponent was outside, and he's like standing there with some of his friends, and he's like kind of looking like disappointed, and like as I walk by, I just kind of hear like a couple little things that he's saying. He's like, yeah, that fool was all blasted up and like older, and like I'm like, dude, this dude totally thinks Garrett just got out of prison or some shit.
I never thought about it.
It
That I
was-
guess they
it
could
was
be a little
just-
intimidating
It
to
was
some
just
fighters.
funny, dude, but
That was never my intention.
It was a
to
good
get 'em to
little-
be intimidating.
it was a good little scrap, man.
Well, let's ask
yeah.
this. How many tattoos do you have?
I don't know, at least like 30. Probably like 30. Probably around like 25 or 30.
So, okay. Do you have a favorite one?
A most meaningful one.
Okay,
Most
that's a good one.
meaningful That would probably be Jesus right there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd have to give it to him. That's why I left that main real estate right there for him. Yeah, and then I got Mila Kunis right there.
Hold up.
Is that really
Hold up. Is that legitimately Mila
It's
Kunis?
really Mila Kunis. I know. Hey, shout out Mila. What's up? I got you.
I don't want to overshow a hand here,
I
but
was pretty drunk.
I thought that was Uma Thurman.
I got one for you on that in a second. I don't want to overplay my hand here, but we have friends who are friends with Mila, so
Oh, that's cool, man.
I don't know her.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been like, "Yo, girl, check this guy out."
Check out my boy,
but a friend of a friend knows, and so that's why I was like,
She'll
"Oh,
hear about me.
Yeah. He's got faith.
so good." But you mentioned Uma Thurman, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is that?
Do you know who has an Uma Thurman tattoo?
Oh, who?
Milt.
No way.
He does.
Really?
Do you know?
Is it good?
Well, allow me a second here. One day I'm rolling with Milt, and sometimes he has a long sleeve, some days it's a short sleeve. He had just gotten a tattoo. We had to take some time off from rolling. Wears a short sleeve one day. I was looking at it, and I go, like, he gets the mount, and I'm staring at his arm, and I go, is that Uma Thurman doing
Mid-roll.
coke
Oh, whoa.
from
From
Pulp Fiction? And it's literally cross-facing my nose. So it's her right here, just like coming at me doing coke. And it literally feels like I'm doing coke as well. And I remember, like, we finished the roll, and I go, hey, bud, is that a new tattoo? And he goes, yeah, what'd you think of it? And I go, is that Uma Thurman? He goes, dude, I love Pulp Fiction. I go, didn't let me finish. I figured that much. Is that her doing the coke? Oh, for sure. And I go, you're fucking insane, dude. So
Where was it? Like right here?
it's literally like right here. So every time a man gets a crossface on me, I just see her eyes like just make me dart this way. So
hilarious.
it was definitely something that I laugh a lot about. And I don't know how this works. I have 0 tattoos.
Same.
So I don't know how this works for people when they say, "Oh, I got 30."
Yeah.
When you say that with Mila Kunis, it was just on a random day. Like, how does one have a random day where they say, you know, I like her, she's cool, why don't you put her on my arm?
I know, right? We were actually looking for just like a girl, because I wanted a portrait of just like a girl, like, and yeah, we came across her and she was looking hot, and I was like, shoot, let's just do that.
I mean,
man.
undeniably hot.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you didn't pick somebody who...
And I don't tell, like, if it's like other girls ask me about it, I'll be like, no, like I won't tell them that's Mila. I'll just be like, it's just a random girl. You know, I only tell certain people that. But now,
well, now it's out there. Now, if...
yeah,
Good news for you, our demo, not women, so
Yeah.
we're okay. Famously anti-women for whatever reason. Every time I look at our demos, it's like literally 13% women. And I go, I swear we've interviewed more women. And then all of a sudden, it's just like somebody will say some shit. And I go, they're out of the demo. Nobody gives a shit. We're good.
yeah.
So, okay. All right. Well,
It's the language ref.
it absolutely is. This is like this foul-mouthed brown dude has turned me off. I'm not watching it anymore. So is there one that you got? What was the quickest one that you got?
The quickest one.
The quickest tattoo you got?
Quickest. Maybe my foot. I just got some weed leaves on my foot back when I didn't want my parents to see that I had like tattoos, so I got my foot tatted, and I just got some weed leaves on it.
Okay.
It was like a stupid little tattoo that I still don't know why I got it to this day. Like, it was just like,
I mean, seems mostly harmless.
yeah.
I would imagine if you start getting tatted at a young age, there's bound to be like one or two that you're like,
Stupid
why the
one.
hell
Oh,
would I do
dude.
that?
The day I turned 18, it was like maybe a couple months after, but I had like $3,000 in the bank. I remember I had a nice job, like $3,000. It's not like that much money, but back then when you're 18,
When you're
yeah.
18,
That's-
dude, you feel like that's $100K when you're
Right?
when you're 18.
Yeah, I'm moving out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting tatted.
I got 3,000. I'm
You know
gonna
what,
live
Mom
forever.
and Dad, I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
I got this shit.
Well, I had a buddy too that like we were in like a competition of who could get
Yeah,
like,
like
more
1 month of
tattoos.
You were in a competition who
With a
would get
buddy.
more tattoos.
Yeah.
Did you win?
No, my buddy is blasted.
Who is
Super bad. Tyler
Whitlock?
Brown.
Or Brown. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Whitlock tattoos now, so that would be intense for him.
Tyler
to do.
Brown might even have
Tyler
more
Whitlock did this tattoo.
Oh, Tyler Whitlock did that one.
Yeah, he did me.
Oh, so we know him. Okay, dope.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know. Yeah, you guys.
It's
know
a small community.
Shout out to Weiler Titlock.
Weiler Titlock.
Tyler Whitlock is.
That's his Instagram, so.
You know what? I'm not sure you're right or wrong.
Yeah,
I can't say enough to say.
Well, we used to call. You don't want to know what we used to call him.
Probably not, honestly. Now that you've said that one.
Whoa. He did write me a message on the window here. twice in a row.
Okay.
So I do kind of got to get them back.
Okay.
So thanks for the message, Tyler Shitcock.
That one's fine. That one doesn't hurt at all.
What was the message on the win? Was it a dick or something?
One day I came here and nobody saw it, I don't think, but it said Richard is a fag on the window. But then I came back a couple days later, and my student, who's 12, goes, "Oh," he's like, "on the window, I don't know if it was any of your friends or what, but it said Richard is still a fag."
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, I was pissed, but I was like, damn it, I can't really be that
got
pissed
me
'cause it's
again.
kind of funny.
Well, the other reason is you have to know, like, to you, when you see that go up and you see a 12-year-old asking, you know what, guys, run laps. Let's do burpees right now. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm glad that you had this competition because to me, my friend reminds me of this consistently. He says, you know, you should be happy for me that I have lots of tattoos because it means I can afford them. And I say, I have to respect that.
Yeah.
But I have this game with my buddy Milton, the one with the Uma Thurman tattoo, is because I have no tattoos and he has lots, I send him what I consider the worst tattoos, especially in combat sports. So anytime I see somebody that has a terrible tattoo, I send it to him like, what the fuck is this? Like, I feel if we both agree as someone who has tattoos and someone who does not, it has to be an objectively terrible tattoo. Yeah. And more often than not...
1991 on my stomach will probably qualify.
Wait, you have 1991?
1991.
Can we see it?
Hold on. Let's go back to this. Wait. I need to switch this camera.
You can see it through all my hairs.
Um...
See, but it's just like... It just looks.
You know what's incredible about?
It was done in a garage at my buddy's house.
You know what's incredible about the specific hair that you do have is that it's flared up. Like you've actually got.
He's hairy like animal.
It's not just that you
I have a
have
little curl right here.
body hair; it's that you got the Farrah Fawcett like tilt up on the fucking hair.
I do need to trim that a little bit.
You know what? Hey, listen.
Before my next fight.
Before your next fight, I'm sure that you will. Coach Rich will walk you through the whole process.
One time I went to Vegas, I shaved my whole chest and everything, and it just felt weird. I felt naked out at the pool party I was at. Like, it just felt
Okay, here's the question: why'd you do it though?
to look like more. I don't know. I guess to make my tattoo stand out more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it just
if
it
you've
felt
got,
weird.
If you got tattoos, it probably shows them more. And I do think that if you, as a really hairy person, I do think that if you shave the hair, it shows more of definition.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
if
the
you're-
reason
that's
why.
kinda what I was going for
If you're
too,
in
yeah.
shape, you know. So
Yeah.
definitely when I'm fat, I'm like, screw it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
have a
can keep this
hairy
whatever.
chest and whatever. But like as soon as I start getting a little bit of better shape, I'm like, I think I'm gonna shave it off.
So I remember once I was working out. I was feeling pretty good about myself. I like shaved it off. And then my wife saw me and she's like, what the fuck is this? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, why'd you do that? And I go, how do I say I feel good about myself and I want to see the
I wanted to look
definition?
sexy.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, in essence, aren't I doing this for you? And she looked at me and she goes, don't do that. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, I don't like that. And I'm thinking, well, you're my only client, so you're the only one I care about. And then all of a sudden, I just remember being like, all right, so one day I got like the trimmer, but I left part, but I like used a thing.
Sponsored by Manscaped.
Manscaped as well. We used to be sponsored by them. The homie got hooked up by Manscaped when we were sponsored, by the way. It was so weird. I remember telling
I think your code still works. Dude.
Does it really?
Like, I think I used it like a couple months ago.
Oh
to
shit,
buy
we should be
another
getting
one.
money off of that. Okay, we're gonna talk to you, Manscaped. Let's get back to business.
Definitely the first one when you said you didn't think it was going to work, it worked.
I didn't think it was gonna work. I think the reason why they probably would still be a sponsor to this day if I just believed it. But at the time I was like, there's no way they're sponsoring us. And they paid.
There's 3 dudes here that could use Manscaped. So
Facts.
this sponsor
I mean, you know what the worst part is? Like, I use my trimmer still to this day. Like, it's a great-ass fucking trimmer.
The only other sponsor I'm interested in is
Doritos? That's your shit?
Cool Ranch only.
No.
I like other flavors. It's just that all of a sudden, this is at every party, and we eat a whole bag.
Dude, my favorite is a tuna sandwich with Coors Ranch Doritos. Tuna
Coors
with the
Ranch?
Coors Ranch.
No, he's right. He's 100% right. When I was a kid in school, that was like a meal of choice.
Yeah?
And it was one of the few meals I could make myself at the time. Now I can make
But
food.
he didn't say Cool Ranch. He said Coors Ranch.
Coors.
Have you never done the Coors Ranch? Some of us just aren't civilized people.
Well, this is just a meal I've never had. I just want to know about it.
So what I
I
was
like I'm missing out now.
what I would say to you though is my favorite is I came home one day, I got like the trimmer on one of the other settings, like a 3, or a 2. I came in and just buzzed it, but it was tighter. And I remember she came at me and she was like, "Now this I like." And I go, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "You have to pick a lane." And so now it's very weird, but she'll know when I'm like really feeling myself and I'm like, "Hey, I was doing some sit-ups. I want to see it. I want to see the definition." And she'll go, "So you in shape now or something?" And I go, "You tell me." And you know what's dumb is I do this S&C. I got a guy who writes out a program for me. And I've been tracking the progress. So normally I'm not the guy who does a selfie. But now I'm like forcing myself to be like, I have to see it because I can't see it physically.
I got a bicep.
Dude, I swear to God, I saw one day, I was like, I saw an ab and I was like, where? Oh, when did that happen?
Holy
Just one.
This is coolest.
Because for years I was like, have not seen those in a minute.
That's great, man. Hell yeah.
So it's-
Hey, cheers to that.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Hell yeah,
Appreciate that. Well, the other person who helped with that is
This fucker's got too many abs.
the other
I
person that helped.
started jujitsu.
Hey,
In
dude,
the first
jiu-jitsu.
like 2 weeks of doing it, that shit just borrowed up.
I mean, jiu-jitsu helps, man. It's just the problem was all I was doing was jiu-jitsu. I'm a guy who, if I could, I would 100% just do jiu-jitsu rounds and have it be like marathon rounds and do that to lose weight. But I think my body knows what happens. Like, it's just like, nah, okay.
Yeah.
You can do that for days
Yeah.
and you'll level out. So it's the other stuff I do. Plus, now I'm at an age where I'm like, I just want to be on the mats forever. So I have to do all the prehab stuff. So I hate lifting weights, but it keeps me on the mats. So
You
that's
do
why.
a lot of supplements and stuff like that?
Zero supplements.
No?
I think in the future I'll probably do them, but like right now I'm very like, I just want to keep it as simple as possible. And I feel like for me, it's not like I wake up feeling a certain way. It's more so that if you're lifting, let's say a deadlift, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel it being necessary until you have to sweep somebody that feels heavy. And then you start feeling that sort of shit.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, like, oh, maybe these exercises have a purpose to them.
Yeah,
And I remember pulling something recently, I was saying in October, and my guy literally reroute some of this stuff to make sure he was like, let's address that. Let's strengthen that part of your body.
Oh, really?
And I thought, damn,
Dude,
okay.
things like that are so beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah. You notice it when you train.
Yeah. And
Especially injuries, like less of them.
yeah, and full disclosure,
I've heard.
I don't know if you've trained with a lot of people in this world, Garrett, but like people feel fucking heavy at certain points.
Yeah.
And then there's shit that you do, and you're like, I'm doing all the right technique, but this dude is questionably on the acai, so I don't think I'm gonna move this guy unless I maybe lift a little extra weight. So it does help, but it's really annoying.
I'm just like, all I ever take is BCAAs.
Hmm?
That's it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's like the best.
But for you also now at this gym, and people can't see this over on the far side, even if I use this angle over here, y'all can't see the beautiful like
Thank you.
extension of the weight sets that they have, the free weights that you guys have. Like, to me, this is all the extra shit, the exercise bike, like it's stuff that tells you when you're starting a new gym, that's maybe the stuff you get in month 6 or a year in. You got to build into that. It shows that's part of the training regimen that you guys have built into it all.
Definitely. Dude, I mean, this guy just did a PMT. I mean, I trained him as hard as I would train somebody for an amateur fight, you know? He had such a good camp for a PMT. The last sparring day he had, he did like 12 rounds, and he didn't even seem tired.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I went into this one
We're
for
just
sure.
we're just trying to dial
Top
it in.
notch. Like, probably best shape of my life at 33, you know?
For sure.
That's
I mean,
how I felt at
I-
fight day.
I feel that I actually feel like right now I'm 43 or no 42.
Dude.
Uh-oh.
You look good for
I'm
42.
okay. For 42, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But I feel in certain ways better than I did even a decade ago.
Yeah.
Definitely more than 15 years ago. But it doesn't matter when you do it and when you start. It's just how do you modify the goalposts as you get older? Because it doesn't stay the same. Like, everything changes, and if you're trying to be an 18-year-old doing 18-year-old things at 42, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, oh, this is what 42 feels like. Do these exercises. And part of the reason why I found this S&C guy was I was like, hey, man, I'm not coming to you thinking I need a workout program like I'm 25. I need a 42-year-old's program. And then some days I see him doing, like, the dumbest shit in the world where I was like, what the fuck is a curtsy? Like a fucking curtsy step? This is fucking dumb. I don't want to do that. And it was after I had pulled my groin.
Lame.
Yeah, I had pulled my groin, and the dude's like, do you want to feel better? And I was like, does it strengthen it? He's like, yeah, of course, you dummy. Why would I tell you to do it? And I go, oh, okay. I go, you're the genius. I'm not.
I feel like
He was
over
just
30.
clowning you.
Yeah, dude, sometimes I'm like, because the weird part is,
Somebody fucking
isolate.
with me.
Well, isolated, I go, I'm going to be doing this at the gym, and somebody's going to notice.
Yeah.
And they might be like, what does this do? And I go, I don't know. My guy just told me to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like over 30, if you have a strength and conditioning program, it's mainly like injury prevention.
Absolutely. 100%.
And if you're not doing that, then you're fucking up.
you listen, dude. You get folded too many stupid ways in jiu-jitsu to not be doing stuff like this. Like, the first few days I was doing jiu-jitsu, I thought, oh, my back already sucks. Now I'm just going to make it worse. And lo and behold, I'm still here. So anytime somebody's like, oh, I can't do jiu-jitsu, my back sucks, I was like, my back sucked day one. I'm
Yeah.
fine. You're fine. Just,
Out of
you got to find
body
ways to do it.
adjusts.
Out of everything, the two things that make me the most sore is like a hard sparring session of like, you know, Muay Thai sparring or just rolling.
Yeah.
Even if I just roll for like 20 minutes with one person,
Yeah.
like it's like, oh, my joints, like my ligaments, everything is just like.
Well, you also, how do I put this? As an MMA fighter, your stuff is always efficient. So you have a certain purpose to get stuff done quicker that you now, maybe after not fighting as recently, you're allowing yourself to play more.
Yeah,
But
totally.
at the, like, maybe 5 years ago, you don't have time to play.
Yeah.
It's literally get this shit done, make sure you get efficient spots, and that you're going from A to B.
Now I don't have time to go hard like that. All I have time to do is play, or at least the energy. Because I'm like, damn, I'm already sore. So
It sucks, dude. And I think the bigger issue for you is the way that you do roll, because you're teaching so much more, there's a callus that you have to rebuild into the body that you don't even get to do because you're at the service of other people.
Hey man, it's all good.
I mean, it's good. It's just, hey, I'm just glad you're training jiu-jitsu again, because most of the time I see you like holding pads for other people.
Yeah.
And then if I don't see the video footage of you striking, I just know what happens.
So I do have a goal.
What's the goal, sir?
I'll just put it out in the public so people can hold me accountable to it. I do want to fight again.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hopefully, like, you know, a couple fights, you know, 1-2 fights, kind of promote the gym. If I'm going to retire, you know, I'd rather retire on a win than a loss.
Yeah.
My last fight was a loss. And then after the fights, I just want to focus on jiu-jitsu tournaments and just try to do a bunch of jiu-jitsu tournaments, gi, no gi. And, yeah.
Well, we had talked about it before you'd opened the gym. I was like, we should do one together at some point.
We totally should.
And I'm so
down for
down.
that whenever.
Me too, but I
Whenever's
know.
convenient for both of us.
Likewise. But what I would say to you is, I know what a fight would mean to you. That means more to me for you now.
I appreciate that.
But I'm always around for you. We'll do that shit. We'll go have some fun because it was so funny. I was telling Rich, I was like, oh, this jiu-jitsu skiing, I'm looking for a time and doing this. He was like, dude, why don't we do one? And I was like, well, you have to open up a gym first. Now you've done that, and you're probably going to have some students who are going to be interested.
I'll jump into a jiu-jitsu tournament whenever, honestly.
You know what's funny?
And I don't mean to sound like cocky.
No,
like
no.
that. It's just like I might as well.
Well, it's also, think of it like this. To MMA fighters who put their lives at risk, a jiu-jitsu tournament, significantly less possibility of really getting injured in that way.
To me, it seems like that. I don't want to be disrespectful and say like
You
know,
won't.
people that just do jiu-jitsu are not like putting themselves at risk, because they are.
Sure.
You know, it's just I think I would feel a little less pressure,
Yeah.
I guess.
Coming from where
You know,
you've come from, it
but-
makes perfect sense.
But I still would love to do it, and it's a good challenge.
Yeah, and I felt like it was something where we joked about it, and I was like, "Oh, for sure we should do it." And
That'd
you
be
know,
awesome, man.
what I would love for people
Both
to
jump
see.
in cold, see how it goes.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you. I feel like
Am I allowed to put Thai oil on before the? No, I know.
I think Rich is 100% looking to ADCC real quick. He's gonna go without the rash guard. He'll leave the chest hair
opponent's
in.
like, my eyes.
He leaves the chest hair in, but adds the oil and says, like, no, you deal with both of these things now. We do have a new fight coming in right now. And yes, at the 317 mark, you got the Dvalishvili match and the Nurmagomedov. I will come back to this, but I do want to put a cap on that. I will say part of the reason why I would get excited about Rich doing jiu-jitsu is you know him so well as a striker, but such an underrated jiu-jitsu practitioner that I feel like that would be fun for people to get to experience that side of you that I know and I've gotten to roll with. And I think like, oh, dude, Rich is really good. And
Thank
if you are truly students of jiu-jitsu and you go back and pay attention to some of like Rich's most prominent fights, excellent jiu-jitsu positions that he was able to stay so heavy that you wouldn't even necessarily put as there because you were like concentrated on the striking.
Thank you.
But very good stuff.
I will say, as you know, somebody from Jailton, obviously striking is our thing.
Yeah.
But you gotta have jiu-jitsu if you're gonna fight MMA. I mean, it's always the ace in the hole. It always saves you. It always happens. You know, it's not like it's not gonna happen. It's always gonna happen.
People always forget. They're like, I can deal without jiu-jitsu. And I tell them, I'm like, you know, guys, every time you say I can just do jiu-jitsu in a 6-week camp, that's when you open the door for somebody else to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like the best time to learn jiu-jitsu is yesterday.
If that were true, I would put this guy in an MMA fight
For real.
tomorrow.
We wouldn't even waste time. We'd be like,
Yeah.
dude, your striking will be
But
fine.
I just want him to work on it.
I also like to tell people this. I'm like, y'all don't even see the new generation. By the way, this is a great fight to begin with.
Seriously.
That was
This
that
fight is
leg
killer
pull.
right now.
He was going for that single, kind of gave up on it. But I don't think people know this one thing about jiu-jitsu practitioners is that I always worried about how their hands look like because I think like they'll get outclassed on the hands. There's a new generation of people like the Rotolo brothers that are these monsters that have been doing jiu-jitsu since they were 5 years old and who are
guys are so
working
good.
actively on their hands to the point where I go, okay, what happens if that dude takes you down? Maybe you beat him on the feet. They're going to
Yeah.
fuck you up in seconds
Well,
on grappling.
I feel like somebody that's that good, like the Rotolo brothers, and
Mm-hmm.
that technical and trained that hard, you're gonna also get good at stand-up.
Absolutely.
Like if you can apply those same tactics that you applied to jiu-jitsu training to
Yeah.
striking, you're gonna get good.
It just takes a little bit of dialing in
Totally.
how you approach it. But if you have the same discipline you have for jiu-jitsu as you do for striking, in a matter of time, you'll split the difference.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't be as good as a traditional striker, but that doesn't mean you can't get knockouts in certain fights.
For sure.
And those are guys who they grapple so aggressively, it might as well be striking.
Dude, their grappling
Yeah.
is so dope.
So that's why.
Rotolo just got a knockout, didn't he, in his last fight?
What's that?
His Rotolo.
Rotolo, I thought.
Sure, knocked
Didn't he
somebody
like
out in
rock the guy and then took
the
him down?
MMA. Yeah,
Choked
I
him out
think
or
he choked him
that?
out.
but he
I'll have
locked
to.
him
Ooh.
first, yeah.
That was a
I'll
good
have to
kick.
go back and double check the tape on that because there's somebody who they train their jiu-jitsu so well.
Merab looks frustrated.
Merab does look frustrated, but you know what? That was to our benefit because his frustration allowed Nurmagomedov to kind of bully him around and like they Tasmanian deviled to every corner of that octagon.
Seriously.
And to me, I'm like, yo, they're fighting so fast, I can't even fully
Is his nose always
commentator.
like that?
It is.
It is.
Somebody was saying recently,
yeah,
I
that
think
just
it's got
happened.
real fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, his shit's fucked up. He landed a couple of nice overhands.
That was round one?
Yeah.
Damn, that was a banger round one.
For the first 5 minutes of a 5-rounder, by the way.
Ooh, dude, yeah, he got caught right there. Smile.
Yeah, that tough smile that happens afterwards is when you're
Yeah,
like,
I was trying
that didn't hurt, and you're like, that smile
Are these
tells me
seats
everything I
more
need to
full
know.
now?
They are.
They are, but not totally in the top,
I gotta go back and look because you'll notice
which is surprising.
it's very strange. So the same thing happened at WWE with the Raw. There was a whole section that I swear to God was the Netflix executives when it was the Netflix premiere for Raw, and I was like, why are those seats empty? And I knew how it had sold, and I was just like, it just made me so mad seeing those empty seats. The whole time I was staring at my friends, like, what do you think of the show? I was like, those empty seats really pissed me off. I was like, because I know how much they cost, and if Netflix has executives who aren't sitting in them right now, the show is going to be over in an hour. Why aren't you sitting there now?
Yeah.
But I did see it fill in a little bit more. One thing they did at Raw that I thought was super dope, they had these drones flying. And then later, they put it up on their social media, and they said, tag yourself on Twitter where you were sitting.
Nice.
And I could see myself in there. I was like, oh, shit, there's me. Speaking of which, Nurmagomedov is starting to piece apart.
Wow.
Wow. Well done here, dude.
Oh.
Merab is really just having to bite down on the fucking mouthpiece and go to war, and he's leaving himself a little open in Soa.
He's not trying to take him down or anything. Like he was Umar. He just. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, Nurmagomedov has just got him frustrated,
Yeah.
and he's kind of using it to his advantage.
I mean, legitimately, not a bad strategy for somebody like Merab.
Not at all.
I was going to ask this, Garrett. How did you kind of see this playing out originally before we got into this?
With these two,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a wrestling match for sure.
Same.
Yeah, just like an elite wrestling match.
Ooh.
That was nice.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot of wrestling in it.
Well, we're getting some now, and guess
yeah.
what? You
Finally.
might have gotten your explanation as to why
Yeah.
we're not getting it.
Yeah, they
Woo!
both we're just feeling each other out, trying to. Yeah, because you don't see Merab in this position very often.
Rob's face is pretty jacked up too.
Yeah. He's trying to address this arm here, so he's like anchoring it. 2:35 left to go in round number 2. It's mostly just keeping him from getting back up. There's an underhook on the right side. He's going to stand back up. He's trying to get a waist lock. Merab fighting the hands, turning back into him, and they're back up on their feet. Nice fight. The crowd has been lively this entire time, which makes me very happy. All right. How much, Garrett, would you have paid to go see this fight tonight? Like any of these fights. How much, what is the top dollar price that you would have paid to go to UFC 311?
I would have been down to pay like $300.
300, okay.
Yeah,
Just
especially
say where.
it was right here. in
Well, hold
LA.
on.
Even
We'll
if
get to
is,
that
like-
next. But like
Yeah.
300 is the top price you would be willing to pay.
Yeah.
And where do you think that would situate you in the Intuit
At
Dome?
least in the it was gonna be the nosebleed.
In the nosebleeds. Okay.
That would have been chill. That would have been.
Just to let you know, there was no circumstance in which $300 was actually going to get you into the venue.
yeah.
What do the nosebleed costs? Like 600?
As of last night, I had people trying to text me and tell me I knew differently. The nosebleeds as of last night, $560 before tax, which means legitimately you're looking at about a $660 ticket per
crazy,
ticket.
bro.
Yeah.
And I had people who, this is the thing I hate the most about people who talk ticket prices. They go, no, mine included taxes. It was $540. And I was like, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I also looked, I know what your ticket is. I know exactly the seat that you are referencing. I literally looked up the cheapest ticket. You were mentioning a resale ticket, which means like a SeatGeek or something like that is filling that order. That's not the price.
It's insane.
And it makes me so mad because I'm like, dude, I spent time on this stuff. And there's a website called WrestleTix, and what they do is they give you reports on every organization, like mostly for wrestling, but for like the UFC, they track it from day one. That shows you how many seats get sold. And so they show you when they open up new seats. And people were like, oh, why do you subscribe to that? I was like, first of all, great work. Second of all, I want to learn how even in wrestling they're able to sell tickets for a staged event. When in jiu-jitsu, sometimes we're like, can you please come? It would be cool if you could come. We've got some really good grapplers. I'm like, I want to emulate that business model in the future. And I feel the only way you learn that is to watch how they sell, what markets they go to, and how much disposable income they have at any given time. So when I see they do them for occasionally on the UFC, they'll tell you, they're like, the Sphere sold this much, this sold this much. And I go, great, okay. And I take notes every single time. So when somebody's like, well, how much is that? I was like, it's $5 a month for this Patreon, and I'm happy to pay that person because that's a lot of fucking work, and it is cool for me when I'm doing this gig to go, I know how much that was sold for.
Yeah.
They opened up 20 more tickets last night. They went out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it is a very cool little detail to pay attention. Not that sales are the only thing, but for this is a huge billion-dollar industry, dude. Like, I would love for grappling to have $1 million worth of production.
For sure.
We got very lucky that Craig Jones Invitational had a $3 million investment from a anonymous donor, and that's the first time we've had that. And the ratings in August, I kid you not, were comparable in the 18 to 34 to preseason football.
Wow.
And so when people were telling me, they're like, oh, jiu-jitsu's like, I was like, fuck off. We have the numbers. Somebody has to pull that fucking cord.
Yeah, it's finally starting to take off.
Like little by little, but I just hate when people like shoot it down. They're like, well, nobody wants to watch us. I was like, well, if you have a shitty match, nobody wants to watch that, but it's possible. It does look like here, some people, Kevin Aioli was saying 2018, Ian Neal, 2018 for Umar. Is everybody here in agreement? I think he's walked away with the first 2 rounds as well.
For sure. Just to touch on the price of those tickets.
Yes, sir.
I did go to see the first Lyoto Machida versus Shogun Hua fight.
Yes.
At Staples Center.
Nice.
And I got some nosebleed seats. Maybe not like very top, but
Yeah.
like few rows down.
Yeah.
And I think it was my parents, myself, my girlfriend at the time. So 4 tickets. I think they were $60 each.
Damn.
I was there for that fight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I saw and met Rumble Johnson that
Oh,
night.
sick.
Yeah.
And I got in a fight that night.
You got to fight that night.
You got in a fight that night, Rich?
I did.
Good Lord.
Details aside, details aside, some guy tried to fight my dad.
Oh, that's that one.
Not cool.
Some guy
Not
tried
cool.
to fight my dad, so I knocked him out.
I mean, to be fair, if you were trying to fight my dad, we would have issues. I like to tell people this.
Right there.
Well, first of all, cheers to that. By the way, don't fucking take out Mr. Leroy.
For all the dads out there.
Serious. Rich Senior, that's my guy.
But I tell people this. I'm like, I feel like anytime somebody brings up something like this, I'm very honest when I say I'm usually pretty even keel.
Same.
But I feel like the one thing that would really piss me off is if you did something to my wife. And then,
Totally.
but
Or your mom.
yeah, but like,
Same dude that fought my dad also called my mom the C word. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
He was donezo.
like, yeah, what do you expect at this point? But what I like to tell people is, like, I feel like these are the reasonable, understandable things. It's not like us just trying to go provoke things for the sake of
No,
provoking them.
hell
It's
no.
like, hey, listen, the scenario I just mapped out is you talk shit about my wife. Like, that's a pretty understandable thing where you might go, all right, now I'm
not
not
cool.
reasonable anymore.
Not cool.
The guy that you talk to that's like very fun and even kill out the window.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything else is like, yeah, all right, do whatever you want. But your parents, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Be a grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was crazy.
There must have been some young, dumb.
But those cheap tickets were awesome.
I will tell you, you'll enjoy this, Rich, because nice knockdown, by the way, here. You know what's been interesting is you were seeing Nurmagomedov try to lead those charges. He wasn't quite getting any of those takedowns yet, though.
Not yet. I think he took him down
been
once in
defending
the
them all.
He did
first or second
that
round, right?
earlier rounds, yes. Speaking of which,
Oh, not
ooh.
quite. Not quite.
I wish I could get up from a
Yeah.
takedown like that, dude.
Seriously.
That's the kind of takedown.
No.
In wrestling, it would not. Here, I got to see if the stat included
Yeah,
it. I'm not sure yet. Because in wrestling, you have to at least establish for 3 seconds.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's very fun because our friend Milton, he has recently taken to being a, you know what, I can tell you this.
A wrestling
This is just to our friends here. It's like Milton's a wrestling coach, right? And Milton's wrestling is like phenomenally better than mine. And we do this thing where every occasionally when we're rolling, we try to get like a wrestling pin on each other, even while we're rolling.
That's funny.
And I hit a cradle on him the other day.
Nice.
And he was like, "This doesn't matter in jiu-jitsu, but you just hit me with a cradle." And I'm so mad. And I was like, I want you to be mad because it's such a good moment for me.
Doesn't matter, but it's humiliating.
It literally has no bearings. And then I told him, I think he caught me with something maybe like 2 minutes later, and I was like, I don't even care. And he's like, "You're right. You're ahead."
Like he actually choked you out or
Right.
something? And
He
you're
was like-
but I got that cradle.
I was like, I got that cradle. I was like, I think it's worth 3 submissions, honestly. And it's just funny because I feel like when you do this high level of fighting, adding the wrestling component is like almost sacrificing your cardio. It's like saying, like, you know what? It's out the window. Let's see what happens here. And yet these two guys, still phenomenal shape where they're just fine going into championship rounds.
Yeah.
So I wish that for you.
That wrestling cardio is
It's a different beast, dude.
different type of cardio.
That's why I'm jealous of certain wrestlers when they start to come to our world, because I go, do I really want to teach them this shit? Like, I have like a secret cheat code, and I'm telling them how to do the things.
Yeah.
Where once they put that with their special powers, I'll be powerless to this.
They could do anything.
And then guess what? 2 minutes later, they learn stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep leg attacks. I will not tell them about that, and I'll be just fine. And it's turned out to be a very successful strategy. All right, we go into our 4th round right now. This has been very good back and forth. Do we feel that that was still a Nurmagomedov round in the 3rd, or do you think Merab stole that 3rd one?
I don't know, honestly.
I think Nurmagomedov has
Nurmagomedov might have
3 rounds.
Yeah.
to
He
0.
might have 3. Okay. It's
His
just
striking's
But
crisper.
it does look like Merab is getting better with each round
think
a
so
little
as
bit.
well.
Like he's like adjusting, but like not quite enough.
And look at
yet.
that. Right now, the odds have changed. Nurmagomedov is a favorite
Okay.
at negative 160. So here's the weird part. They gave that one in the Twitter comments. Aaron Bronister
Merab.
said he had Merab. He said the best round for Merab. I thought so too. I just couldn't
Definitely
tell. It
was.
still feels like it's very neck and neck on that 3rd round.
Is Nurmagomedov starting to tire a little bit?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Like more than
Yeah, it's Merab.
Merab.
I feel like the weird part is this. If you're Merab and you go on a 2-round run here, you might not lose this fight.
Yeah. It's 'cause you're the
But
champ.
you really
Still
have
a risk,
to.
though.
It is.
So
It
you
is.
should just go for. Ooh, that
Nice
was a
dump there.
takedown right there. Knee when he comes up.
Again, I feel like that's the part is you're so exhausted from
Yeah.
getting those things that you're like, go gadget knee.
knee
Nope.
out there.
I just tried to strike him. Did not work.
Yeah.
But here's the nice part. If this is where your cardio needs to really come into play, the 4th round, not a bad place.
For sure.
The weird part is both these guys are fucking like cats. Like, you don't necessarily get them down all the way. You
Yeah.
might get them on their hip, but control, near impossible
It's
for
like
either.
as soon as like the hips hit the ground, they just bounce off.
Bounce back up, like instinctively. And it's so weird because any of us that do jiu-jitsu knows that, like, the longer the rounds go, the more you know certain things and you aren't able to re-implement them.
Yeah. Good fight.
That's super good fight. Shout out to some friends, Chase Gibson, Anderson MMA, the Combat Jiu-Jitsu. Thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate you guys. We've had some friends joining us. If you're watching on Twitter, we thank you guys. I think that's where the majority of you guys are watching because you are cheap. And we're happy that you didn't afford the actual pay-per-view, but that's why we're going to give you as much as we can in context here. Yeah, I think, Rich, you've convinced me. I think the next time we do one of these, I'm going to get this third lens to be the same as the other two. I think it's time. I think it's the time and place for it. Because these shots look slightly different. Like, the camera quality is just a little
better,
different. Right? I like this. It definitely serves a purpose, but
For sure.
in the future, I'm going to do it a little bit different. Nonetheless, 2 minutes, 4 seconds left to go in round number 4. Nurmagomedov was looking good in the first 2 rounds. He's trying to get this trip here, and he just
I would
gives up on
definitely
it.
say Merab's winning this round.
I think Merab is winning this round, and you are seeing Nurmagomedov getting a little gassed.
Looks
You were
like it.
wondering at the top of the round. It definitely feels that way at 1:46 left to go in round number 4. And Rich, who did you originally have winning this one? Like, before we got here, did you have a certain way that you were expecting this or hoping this would go?
I thought there would be a lot more grappling, honestly, but I wasn't sure who would be
Leading that dance?
leading that.
Yeah.
I thought the striking would be more of an unknown on how it would go. But, dude, Nurmagomedov looks tired now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that snatch single he was trying right there was the
Yeah.
laziest snatch
Yeah.
single of like,
He
can you
just
move,
straight
please?
gave up on that.
If Merab wins, it's gonna be a long streak of just Merab as champ.
Dude, yeah,
That's
that
fair.
was...
Yeah, I
A lot
think
of
you're right.
boring wrestling fights, like
Yeah,
I mean-
Nurmagomedov is gassed.
But look at this. Merab, in this round, outpacing him 2-1 on the strikes
Yeah.
on that. That had not happened previously. But in that second round, he was able to get 18-13 on the significant strikes. So that does play a slight role in letting you know this could be a 2-2 matchup right now.
Yeah.
And by the way,
what Khabib's selling him right now.
Khabib is telling him, like, your wrestling is embarrassing me, son. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Khabib is telling him, you better fucking finish this fight.
You're wrestling,
The motherland.
you're wrestling 0. You're striking 0. You're grappling 0.
Go smash.
The smash.
Stop everything. Go smash.
I just want to point this out, and I don't know if anybody else had noticed this until now, but Dave's Hot Chicken is sponsoring this shit.
I
and
did notice
did you
that,
see
and it's
that?
like so weird, right?
It took me out because
Like every time they're like in the corner and a guy's like on the cage, I'm like, is that really Dave's Chicken right there?
I think what we need to do, Rich, is we
Now
need.
it looks full.
Oh, it's full.
Finally.
I think what we need to do, Rich, is we need to explore you selling out some of the space on these mats.
Totes.
I think people need to know
Absolutely.
the space
That'd be a cool
here
idea.
is,
Oh, there's about to be a Coronado Brewing over here.
dude.
And I do got to say, again, my unofficial sponsor,
Cool ranch.
Doritos. I got another one I'll bring over here in a second. The
You have
pizza-
another
the
one?
Pizza we ate.
Oh,
Another unofficial sponsor that I love.
100% we should take care of them.
Yes.
So let me ask this: how long have you liked Doritos? You said that you don't discourage the love of other Doritos, but how long has this been here? Because to me, you said something that told me, even though you don't look like a fat kid, you might be an honorary fat kid.
He's a
in
fat
that,
kid at heart. We all are.
I was a fat kid. No.
were you a fat?
Dude,
you were
I
never
was
a
like,
fat kid.
I was like, I can smell fat kids.
He was
I know
never a
exactly
fat
where they're.
kid.
This kid's not a fat kid. You're not a fat kid. And to be honest, one of the things I do hate whenever people say like I was a fat kid at heart, I was like, that's something people who are in shape say to be relatable. Shut the fuck up. That's not a factual statement. Those of us who are real fat kids do. When you said you were like, oh, I ate a whole bag in one sitting, I was like, I've done that
I'm not
so
talking
many times.
the
Yeah.
pocket size. I'm talking the party size.
Oh,
We like to party.
yeah, it was like I loved when people would be like, I had a little snack size, and this was good for me. And I was like,
Snack size? That's like a bite.
that's an appetizer, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
I like all the Doritos flavors. I feel like Cool Ranch is kind of just like the universal one that like,
I understand.
everybody likes.
But I've had people who didn't like the Cool Ranch.
I'm not going to say what I want to say about those people,
That's fair.
but I'm pretty sure you could imagine.
You know what? You leave it to the imagination.
People
It
sound a
does
little
help.
sketchy.
No,
They're as sketchy as Chris over here leaving.
Yeah,
we should. You know
exactly.
what? Look at this. Look at this man gone here.
ghost.
I love the fact that he's like, I have other things to do. It was like
He's actually still there. He's just transparent.
when Chris was like, "Hey, I have somewhere else to go," and I'm like, "The fights are a 3-hour thing. It's
Yeah,
not even
like,
that
what did
long,
you-
dude. What are you talking about? Other places to go?
Can't you just do it after?
You got here at 5 p.m., sir. What do you have a hard out for?"
Well, he is 137 years old, so
That is fair. That is fair.
he has to get to bed early.
That is understandable. Okay, so it, in theory, could be coming down to this last round. But I do feel like when it comes down to the last round, do you go to the championship? To beat the champion, you have to beat the champion, sort of a thing.
Yeah. At this point, I feel like, Nurmagomedov has to he has to finish him somehow.
And
Right? Or, no, I don't know.
well,
It could be 2-2.
well, the thing is, Merab is doing just enough to kind of neutralize here to maybe get the edge in the round.
Yeah. And he's the champ already, so like, he
Exactly.
should significantly beat him.
Definitely an interesting fight.
I mean, I'll ask this because we have a second here, considering this is really just a game of underhooks. How sad were you both when you read the news that the main event changed?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Totally sucks. I was excited for that matchup, honestly.
Garrett, I need your full opinion on this.
I think Sarukian had a better chance
Whoa.
for sure than Moicano.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel that, but that wasn't the question I had for you.
Yeah.
The question I had for you is this. Did you hear the explanation for the pullout?
I still don't know exactly what happened.
A back injury, right?
While cutting weight.
Okay. What was your response to the back injury?
Why didn't you say something about it a couple weeks ago? Like, how are you gonna wait till the day before to bring it up?
Rich?
He sounds a little scared. No, I don't know.
I still don't know exactly.
Hold on. No, let's put this on him.
Sarukian.
It's like, before I was like, I didn't know where he was going to go, but then he's just very clearly cutting a promo being like, yo, I smell bitch here. And you're like, this kid's just starting his MMA career.
I'm just saying, if I would have had a back injury, I would have muscled through it and done the fight anyway.
So let's say this, because the thing that spooked me or made me feel weird was the fact that he was like doing these weird handstands backwards on the Nina drama show. And I was
Oh.
like, what is
Really?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he literally was doing like the wrestler, keep your neck and bridge and walk all the way around in a circle.
Yeah.
And you're
I saw
thinking like, that could have been done a month ago. I know it doesn't necessarily get released at the same time it was filmed. But like, dude, if you have back problems,
Yeah.
one,
Doing that.
maybe you're not doing that. And second, if you wonder how you had back problems,
Yeah.
it might be that. But go ahead, Rich.
I mean, did they say he hurt his back cutting weight?
Don't know if it's cutting weight.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. I mean, anytime somebody pulls out of the fight day before or whatever it was, is kind of weird.
Rich, have you ever pulled out of a fight?
I pulled out of one fight because I had like the flu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a scenario where you could see yourself pulling out because of a back injury?
Day before?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's tough, right?
I mean, like that's
like you
Yeah, I
feel
don't
like it's part of the story. Maybe not full of it, but it was enough where when I read what I read, I go, that seems like a terrible way. And I don't know that you deserve another title fight immediately
true.
after that.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the restroom while.
That's what they were saying. That might be his last chance for Sarukian. Like,
It's
ever.
insane because I'm like, I can't see giving you another title fight.
Yeah.
Like, this is a
'Cause how big of like a organization or like thing that this is.
Yeah.
You know? At least a couple million. Just
But think about this. We talked about how well this sold, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, please! Oh my God, please sit there
gonna hurt
better.
himself.
No! Oh my God, no! Oh my God, why are these guys so bad at climbing the cage?
He's always doing some crazy shit, climbing trees. and-
Motherfucker looked like Humpty Dumpty was about to fucking fall over. Garrett, my point is this. I heard he pulled out.
Yeah.
I got out of the doctor's yesterday. And I just got like a checkup. Was in a good mood.
Yeah.
In the time that I was gone with low reception, I looked down and I go, are you kidding me? 50 minutes ago he pulled out?
Yeah. The main event.
Then you think, do they have a replacement? And I'm like, well, who could the replacement be? I know a lot of people are going to throw them. Oh, God, please don't do Moicano.
Yeah.
It's fucking Moicano. That's a terrible fight. Then
You think it is?
I think it's bad. I think it's not something that I'm excited about. I think it is. I mean, well,
You're just
obviously,
gonna hold him down, and because Moicano's got that jiu-jitsu, doesn't he? That's his like bread and butter.
Godspeed if you got it, dude.
Yeah.
In this particular case, I don't think this is the guy. I think Islam has a lot of different weapons available to him.
Yeah.
I don't know that a jiu-jitsu background is going to make all the difference for you. So, anyway, I saw this. I saw the fight. I said, I think this is terrible. I think Islam's going to dog walk him down. It's going to be really boring.
Yeah.
And if I paid this much money, I would be really irate that I paid this much.
Yeah.
One of my friends, our Armenian friend, immediately tried to put up his seats. He was like, my seats are for sale. I can't.
Yeah.
Today, he texted me. He's like, my friends are making me go. I was like, dude, go have fun. Like, and try to enjoy yourself.
But he wanted to see Sarukian, huh? Armenian.
Yeah,
That is
they
like one of
really
his
did.
favorite
And
fighters.
this is a little known secret. Armenians power the local MMA circuit here in SoCal.
Really?
Like, dude, it is powerful here.
Yeah.
But let's see what the official fight result is here. It is coming up right now. We will give that to you. Oh, my goodness. Look at this.
Gift for you.
Thank you so
And
much.
The other unofficial
Oh, we'll get it
sponsor.
more on this, sir. You gotta sit down on this one.
The other unofficial sponsor, Topper's Pizza, my favorite. So good.
What makes it so good?
I like the sauce. I like the
Crust.
crust is
I mean,
like the
hold on.
good. Like,
Show him the one remaining slice that we had because we knocked it out so hard before.
I like this. Like the marinara sauce is really good. They
It
have
is.
other really good
Somebody
pizzas
gonna
like
eat
the carnitas.
Bro, it's all yours. This man earned it, by the way. Let's be very clear about that.
Definitely.
Got his win. Deserves it. We cleared that out. But I want to ask this before we give you a recap of what's happening here.
Oh, Merab won.
He did win. It was a little
Oh, wait.
split. I'll give you
Wasn't
the
there
exact
another round?
results. No.
Oh, that was the last round.
That was
I
the
looked
last
at?
round.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned that, but then the other pizza that we got, it was a carnitas pizza. Tell me about
Carnitas
that.
Chipotle. Yeah, it's totally different, right? I don't
Superb.
even- different sauce. There's not marinara sauce. I don't know what's on there. I guess some
It
kinda
was almost like a
sauce
chipotle sauce on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we were talking about.
with like cheese, carnitas. There's like bell peppers or something, onions. Yeah, super good.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, dude, that pizza was super delicious.
No
but
problem, man.
I want to say thank you for this. This
Yeah,
is a
dude, for sure.
huge and wonderful gift. Now, I have to be very honest with you guys. When you get a hat and you are Rafa Esparza, you kind of have to go to the end. Like, you learn a few things in this life. Like, this is pretty close. I can actually go to the third one. Ooh, look at that
Okay.
space. Because when I used to play baseball, no joke, when they would put a helmet on me, my coaches would 100% stooges the hat or the
Just
the
get
helmet
on there, damn it.
because they were like, this head's a little particular. You don't have a very
They're like using the bat to like hammer the helmet on.
The best part was I remembered them giving it to me, and I thought, this is supposed to protect me, but I think they just hit me harder than I'm going to get hit by the actual ball. So these hats are amazing. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I
man, hell yeah.
appreciate this.
Thank you, bro.
This is such a nice
Cheers.
gift. Oh, cheers
Good to have you
indeed.
here, brother.
Ah, appreciate.
Cheers.
Do you mind grabbing?
Yeah. I
Couple
need one
more?
too.
Yeah, me as well. Especially now that we're about to get into
Thank
the
you.
main event, I want to make sure I'm ready for.
Thank
Look
you.
at this! Look at this dude!
I know he's a good guy.
What a good kid.
By the way,
Yeah.
I've known Garrett. Well, we should wait till he comes back to tell a story about
Okay.
how we met.
Okay.
Or, I don't know if that's how we met, but I've known him since. Were you in 6th grade? Yeah. So
Sixth
I've known him
grade.
since middle school. I was in 7th grade. He was in 6th grade. I think we had already known who each other were from school.
Back then he was well,
A little
I mean,
bit.
sure.
I honestly only got in a couple fights back then. I think just for some reason a lot of people were afraid of me, and yeah. it was
Rich,
just
why were
an
they
interesting
afraid of you,
time
sir?
back then? I don't know. I think back then, like, I think I've looked the same since I was like 15.
Okay.
Like size and facial hair and whatever. So, probably back then I was a little more intimidating than maybe now. But I don't know. Maybe it was my demeanor and attitude as well.
Did you carry yourself differently back then?
I don't know. You'd have to ask this guy.
Okay, let's ask him. Did Rich carry himself differently back in the day? That's a yes. Okay.
No, I wouldn't say. I mean, no, because you always had like that calm demeanor about you.
I think I've always just been kind of calm and quiet and just kind of.
Yeah, never like overly
know.
cocky, like humble, but like you can tell that, like calm before
Yeah.
the storm type of shit.
I think when I was younger, like I didn't have much confidence. I didn't have like a good self-esteem. I think those things have gotten better over the years, but I think just because of having that kind of demeanor when I was younger, I'm just still the same, even though maybe in my head I feel like different about myself.
Garrett, your thoughts?
Yeah, I know what you mean about the feeling more confident. I feel like that about myself as well. But as far as for you, yeah, I think you've always, in my eyes at least, you've always had that confidence and yeah.
We played football together also.
Oh, you play football. Hold up. Now,
Garrett was really good at football.
I was about to say, you're old news.
Football was-
Garrett, what'd you
football
play
was
in football?
I was a free safety.
Free safety. That makes sense. Okay, great.
Hey, a free safety. They say free safeties just we carry ourselves differently.
Okay.
do.
I mean,
We're
I
the
can.
last line of defense on the defense.
I could see
You
it.
don't put a pussy back there.
No, you do not.
No, you put a straight killer back there. That's gonna.
I mean, let's put it this way.
I
in
would
my-
say the word would be like clutch.
Yeah, you gotta put a
You know,
clutch
you
back.
gotta put somebody back there that can like come through in that clutch moment.
Yeah.
when I played football, I was a wide receiver because at that time I was very fast. So I did not oversell it in being like, man, we're super tough. I was like, y'all don't fucking touch me. And
I'm out of here.
at the time I was just, but here's the one issue I ran into as a wide receiver. My quarterbacks, Hail Mary was a 20-yarder. And I would literally run routes and literally just like pose like, okay, we're not going to get this one. My man's down on the 5. Sounds good. And I literally, at one point, because it was so embarrassing, guy who was covering me, I just look at him and I'd be like, dude, just be a hero and go in there. Dude, like, they're not going to throw. They can't throw to me. You know that, right? And the dude's like, okay, cool. Would like go run and then cut to me being like, this would be the time. That's on out. That's not to me. Cool. So for a split second, I had the fastest run I had ever had. I want to say after my freshman year of football, I go, we're going to grow old together for what, 5 more years? 4 more years? I'm not going to do this with him. I'm going to go back to soccer. This has been fun, everybody. Football was a blast.
Hey, there's your guy.
There's your guy in a weird-ass kimono right now.
Please don't fucking be like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro. I don't know how to tell you
I think
this.
my style, no, and back to that question,
How to
my
tell you
style is
this.
not representative of his. I have more of a scrappy style
Okay.
than him. He's more he's pretty clean and crisp and like with his technique.
Okay.
I'd say mine's more scrappy. Now,
Okay. Let me ask you this, because maybe you don't have this answer yet, but we'll figure it out in our time that we get to know each other, Garrett. Who would you say your grappling style is like?
my grappling
Yeah,
style.
because you're newer to this, and by the way, you need to get closer to the microphone,
Yeah.
young man.
My bad. Yeah, my grappling style. Well, since I did just start grappling,
You did.
but I told you I was a free safety, so there's a background there.
Okay.
I know how to get a dude like onto the ground.
So you know how to
feel like-
start on the feet.
He knows how to get behind a dude.
I know how
put
to
it
get
on
him down.
I don't know what You're so proud of yourself here, coach, because
I
that
didn't teach
reflects
him
on
that.
you.
He learned that from
I didn't.
football, all right?
I like that all of a sudden,
Blame that on football.
right now, he became a stray cat. He just came to me like this. I didn't do
He
this.
said it was from being a free safety. I didn't teach him that shit.
All right, so you know enough MMA practitioners.
Yeah.
Who in your mind do you see yourself either kind of like or that you would like to be like?
Yeah. Someone scrappy. Damn. Honestly, I was thinking earlier, like, I guess my style is kind of like a Kevin Holland's a little bit. Like,
Okay.
throw
I
me
can
at
see that.
throw
That's
me
cool.
at throw
See
me
that.
at whoever you want. Like, I feel like sometimes like my coaches will just throw me in there, like throw me at whoever they got.
But you know what that means? That's a lot of trust.
Yeah.
That means that they trust for you to be in these high pressure situations and that they know what your ultimate goal is. So they want to help you get there. And you don't get there by just being like, oh, let's see how it goes. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, man, you got to go into the deep end quick so we can get this progress happen.
Yeah.
And then
Get the
we
experience.
feel confident that you'll be in very bad scenarios and know how to handle yourself.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to be.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, one of my favorite things to tell my students is when I work with them, I go, you'll know where you're at when I tell you which training partners I really want you to work with. Because if there's somebody you really respect and I say go work with them, it means you've leveled up to where they're at. And I think they're going to be a good guide for you to kind of walk you through certain areas. Because the weird part is they'll roll with me and they'll get so discouraged. They'll be like, oh, I'm not doing anything against you. I was like, you don't know how to beat me yet.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to build up to that. You need to work with your guys that your pace setters are. And then you're going to see he's here, you're here. He's here, you're here. Those are the guys I need you to work with because they're going to bring the best out of you. My job is to refine you and show you the things that you don't know.
Yeah.
And so when your coaches have that insight for you, it's like, yeah, we feel comfortable giving you anybody.
Yeah.
What they're really saying is you've got big goals and they know where you want to go, and there's only one way to go with that. And that means they got to throw you out there so that way you don't feel overwhelmed, so that when you're in the cage for an MMA fight, it's another day at the office and you feel the best pressure you've ever felt is in this room.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's why to me, I'm like, that's a good sign. And it's actually one that I'm sure Rich would probably agree with as a coach. You hope that you have a student that's that amiable who says, I'm down.
Yeah.
Because when you have somebody who says, I'm down, it's like, hey, they trust me. Let's make that use.
Yeah.
I will say that about Garrett, too. He's just down.
Yeah.
And that's could be a good or a bad place to be.
Yeah. I could see it being a bad,
But-
like getting me in some trouble.
but-
but
You know, I guess with the right guidance, it's good.
But it's also within the confines of a training room.
Yeah.
It's a lot of upside because some people won't go to the hard training partners. They don't
Yeah.
want that.
yeah.
There's got to be some room in here for improvement, for mistakes to be made.
Yep.
You know, because you don't want to learn that shit in the cage or wherever you're competing, you know. You want to go through that stuff on the mats, in the gym, learn those lessons, go through that stuff with your team, work it out, you know,
Yeah, that's why I'm thankful for the hard sparring sessions that we have.
for sure.
So let's go back to this. You've known Rich for a long time. Now, the weird part to me is, you know, Rich is somebody who, like, when we first started doing our interview series, I just felt like he feels as a soul as old as I am, but he's not. He's way younger than me. And yet it's like we have similar experiences in a very different way, where it's like I didn't live his life, but we relate to a lot of stuff. Like when Rich was telling me, he's like, dude, I fucking love like Allison in Chains and this whole grunge era. I was like, well, I lived that for sure. That was my era of growing up as a kid.
Sure.
And then I would hear his playlists when I would come do privates with him, and I'd be like, these are my playlists. So that felt good. Okay, like you're starting to do that stuff. Then just in terms of quality of life, it's like we believe you train really hard, but you don't deprive yourself of beer. So we occasionally go out and grab a beer every once in a while together.
Occasionally.
Right?
I mean, listen, dude, I'm not trying to tell these people we're
Dude,
drunks.
The real fighters are drinking a beer every once in a while.
And as they should. Listen, I just say this. I'm like, the reason I train hard is so I can have good shit like this. I'm not trying to train hard to be in a fucking cage. I'm trying to train hard so I have a fucking beer and not be like, I don't know, how many calories is that? It's like, I don't give a fuck. I know. I trained hard. I got it. The prequel. What is something about Rich in the early days that we don't know that maybe would surprise us?
That would surprise you?
Yep.
Well, he was pretty good at football.
I mean, I believe that. What did he play again?
Yeah, he was. You were a fullback, right?
Nose guard and fullback.
Nose guard and a fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was running people.
How did your team do?
His year, I think your guys' year was pretty good with Malachi and all them. You guys did pretty. Or that was the grade.
We played. I got pulled up to varsity from sophomore.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really play much, but that junior and senior team was really fucking good.
Yeah. Until they went and played Canyon Country, I remember them just getting blown out.
Yeah.
A bunch of just corn-fed white boys.
Yeah. Was it St. Bonaventure or?
No, it was Canyon Country.
Canyon Country. Okay.
St. Bonaventure, destroyed them too. But
well, yeah. I mean, on that varsity team that I got pulled up to was Jacob Manuel.
yeah,
And he passed away. But also his older brother, James Manuel, was one of my jiu-jitsu training partners at the very first gym that I ever trained at, Bond Squad. So, yeah, I got cool memories of both those guys because James is like, an old training partner for MMA, basically. And then his brother, Jake, a big fucker, like 6'2", 6'3", like 250, like, I think he was an offensive
maybe
lineman.
even heavier,
right?
like 300 pounds.
Yeah,
maybe,
he was like an offensive lineman, and he was like boxing to try to get in the Olympics. Like he was a really cool guy. He was a little older than me. Somebody I really looked up to. But yeah, I have a really cool memory of when I first got pulled up to that varsity team. I remember they were doing these drills, and I was like, man, I felt so out of place when they pulled me up, and like all these guys were just older than me, bigger than me, better than me. And they had this drill with all the linemen one day, and they matched me up with Jake.
Oh, really?
And, dude, he was so much bigger than me. And basically it was like a sumo wrestling kind of thing, you know? And they were like, okay, here's the circle. You guys run at each other, and, whoever gets pushed out of the circle loses.
Right.
And so they matched me up with, like, the biggest, toughest guy. And I was like, dude, this guy's just going to run me over, And I was just like, in a split second's thought, I'm like, what can I do, So like, I remember like, start charging at each other, and then I just decided to like do like a little spin move, and I like push him out of the circle, and I won. And like everybody was like cheering for me, and I was just like, oh man, holy shit, like what did I just do? So I have that cool memory of Jake and like being pulled up to that team, and like his brother was one of my training partners. So both those guys are super cool. They passed away now, but yeah. That was awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Rich, what was your first memory of Garrett?
My first memory of Garrett. Well, we met in middle school.
You can tell the story.
well, we got the clear. It's good.
I don't know. I can't remember where we met, but we definitely met at Monte Vista Middle School. I was in 7th grade. You were in 6th grade. And yeah, I think the first thing I remember is the thing that you told me too, where I think actually he tells it much better than I do.
Okay, well, Garrett, please do.
My buddy wanted to go down, which was our mutual friend wanted me and him to go down to this park where they were all boxing. That's what I was saying. He's been
Valley
doing this-
Lindo Park.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's been
That's
doing
where
this
the shit.
fighting
That's where the
since-
shit used to go down.
since like 6th, 7th grade. So he was down there with like everybody boxing. They were all boxing each other. And I told my buddy I didn't want to go. Like, no, I don't want to go. Like, you just go. You go. And he's like, no, I'm not going to ditch you. And I was like, you're not ditching me. I don't want to go. Like,
He's like, let's go, pussy.
yeah, basically, yeah. So they drag me down there. And right when I get there, Rich makes me put on the gloves. And I'm like telling my buddy, I'm telling Rich, like, no, I don't want to put on the gloves. I don't even want to be here.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Well, they put on the gloves, and like I wouldn't fight back or something, but I think Rich just like punched me like square in the face, and I started crying, and I ran home. But I was in 6th grade, so maybe 12 years old.
To be fair,
To be fair, I haven't cried ever since I did.
to be not only that, but to be fair, I was like one of the toughest kids, like in school. Like
You
even
don't
though,
say.
Even though I was in 7th grade, I was like 6th, 7th,
Yeah.
8th grade. I was like one of the toughest kids in the whole school. So
Can I
they,
just say
they
this?
didn't give him an easy matchup.
Yeah.
Rich, if you punch me
Threw me
now,
at
I'm
the-
probably gonna cry as well. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I
Well,
think
that's
if
what
I
I said.
punch you, I would cry too.
100%. There'd be a really sad kumbaya moment. Because you know what's weird? Some of our mutual friends, or at least the kids who I know, like they'll roast me every once in a while. They'll be like, "Coach doesn't work stand up," and I was like, "I do, not with you." And they go, "Why?" I was like, "I just listen. I like who I like when I work with them." And then they finally pressed me enough. I was like, "Well, you've seen Rich?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I've worked with him." And they go, "Oh shit!" I was like, "No, he's not fighting me back, you morons. It's just he's helping me get better."
You're like, I sparred Rich. I knocked that fucker
Yeah.
out. I don't know what happened. I knocked him out with a jab.
I'm pretty good at telling jokes, Rich. I don't know that I can get away with even keeping a straight face and be like, "Rich was a fucking bitch, dude. I thought he would be tougher, but it was."
You like walk home with all my belts. Like, everybody's like, "What happened?" Like, I don't know. I knocked him out with a jab.
Oh, man, he was really weak. He was holding pads, and I was like, "What, bitch? Get up!" And no, I just told him I was like, I like what Rich does. And when they were telling me, they're like, "Oh, you don't like striking." And I go, "How can I put this to you? I don't have enough time for striking. That like as you get older, you have to pick and choose your time because everything depletes on you. You want to spend time with your wife. You want to do your jobs. For me, it's hosting multiple shows in addition to the other stuff that I do. And then I want to train jiu-jitsu like a maniac. So I'm like, you don't get to do everything, but the chances that I do to get to work striking, I do appreciate, and I do try to learn from those who I have a lot of respect for. And during the pandemic, you know, you were very helpful in making sure that I was getting good workouts in, which by proxy made sure my blood pressure was good, which, by the way, does go very far.
Awesome,
And
man.
to me, it was very cool because it's just like, hey, man, it's a good way of supporting your friends during a crazy time where nobody knows what's going on. And
Such a crazy time.
everybody's just trying to make a living, and you want to be like, hey, listen, the only way this works in this world, same thing with the fires that you see right now,
Yeah.
you just try to help the people you can. And you just try to say, like, I'm going to take a private from Rich, but Rich is helping me. So it's like, how does this transactional thing work for two people at once? And then for the people who maybe are affected by fires, you go like, hey, listen, obviously, if you get government aid, that's going to be great, but that might not come for a while. So let's give you donations. Let's not even ask. Don't say anything. What do you need?
Yeah.
Just tell me and be honest. And if I have that stuff, let me give it to you. And so when my students were like, yo, you don't like striking, I was like, I don't know how to tell you this. I love striking. It's just I recognize the time is fleeting. You pick and choose where you can. And then when you do learn, it's like, dude, I got to learn stuff that you were teaching, combinations you were doing, and the method that I saw you were utilizing with your students that I said, oh, I see why they're good.
Thanks, man.
I see why they pick up things so fast or why they get this great instruction where I go, if you get the chance to take privates with people or to learn from them, you may not do them forever, but you can appreciate where you were on the time. And so now I'm just like, dude, now that you have this gym, you get to do this for a whole group of people out here.
Totally.
And you'll see the benefits of that in the very near future. But to me, to do that with somebody you grew up with is
Yeah.
incredible and a totally different thing into itself.
Dude, I do gotta say, working with Garrett has been like super, super fun, super cool. Yeah, it's really cool to train somebody that I've known since I was, 12, 13,
Yeah.
you know?
That's cool.
That's what I was saying. It's kind of like gone full circle, almost,
Yeah.
except for I haven't made him cry yet.
Well, I mean, I don't-
he got me with a pretty good punch earlier today, man, that I didn't
Hey.
expect. I was like, you fucker.
I mean,
Like, I
Whenever
guess
I want to quit, I think about that day. And I'm like, keep going harder. Like, no.
I guess when your students start to lay it on you, it's like a bad thing and a good thing. It's a bad thing because it's like, damn it, like I'm slipping a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it's a good thing because he's my student. I'm coaching him. I'm trying to get him better. If he's getting better and he's landing more on me, like that's a good thing. So,
Well, Garrett, you won't know this yet, but you'll learn it at some point when we roll. My greatest skill.
your knee is gonna hurt.
Oh, it's good. I'm a fucker.
I heard you're a heel hooker.
My greatest skill as a grappler is I have pretty solid defense, right?
Yeah.
So when I roll with people, they'll get frustrated, and I'll say, well, hey, if you do this or this, you're new. You got to learn these things. Mm-hmm. I'll give them the playbook. I'll tell them how to beat me. I'll be like, here's what you do. Do this, this, this. It'll overwhelm my system. I can beat 12 of your moves, maybe not 13, but if you chain them together, it's going to exhaust me and I don't have your gas tank. Or here's this. My weakness is this. Because I want them to learn how to beat me.
Yeah.
And the minute they do, then I go, okay. And then they look at me and they go, wait, what's happening? Why are you being mean? I was like, well, you advanced to a new level.
Yeah.
So now, as a form of respect, I'm going to go harder on you.
Yeah.
And they go, wait, no, that was not what I agreed to. And I go, well, you signed up for it. You wanted the cheat code.
Yeah.
So what you're hearing right now is Rich saying, like, hey, this is cool that you're doing this. As an instructor, you're always looking for ways to change the levels that make it fun for you and fun for him. But that's pretty dope that you're having this. Yeah. Gentlemen, we're about to see the main event right now. You got Moicano.
Who
You
guys
got
got?
Islam. Well, is anybody here remotely going to take Moicano?
I kind of want to take the under, but I don't want to bet on it.
Why would you? Well, of course. You're not going to put any more money down tonight.
His shoulder looks crazy. He's
Yeah,
like
listen, dude.
his old injury or something.
I can't, in any good faith, put any money on Moicano.
I couldn't This
This
put
is
any money on Moicano either.
This is no money. you put no money on Moicano. I just feel like this is something that Islam is going to beat the shit out of him. You know.
Yeah. I mean, jiu-jitsu?
I feel like Islam could actually knock him out. Honestly,
Yeah. That's
I
kinda
feel
how
like
too.
Moicano is one of those fighters who has done well against other people that totally respectable, incredible to see what he's done, but not the level of Islam.
Definitely not.
And that's what's concerned me
But-
about this fight getting made.
Let's go with this jiu-jitsu black belt,
Okay.
and hopefully he gets a submission.
It'll be difficult against
did they
somebody who's
stop it?
26-1, and mind you, the last
Who's
time
they lost to?
the loss was back at UFC 192, and that was Adriano Martins.
He knocked him out, yeah.
Oh.
Flash knockout.
But what number are we on? UFC 311? That
Yeah.
was UFC 192. That happened back in October 2015, Rich. So
He hasn't lost in 10 years.
it's been a minute.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile, Money has
Yeah.
lost multiple times, most recently against Rafael Dos Anjos back in 2022.
Decision. Probably got
And
outstruck.
Rafael Fiziev, and
Yeah,
they're not
all
bad
his
people.
losses look like they're due to strikes.
So when you're like, could you really see a knockout here? I'm like, I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say could you see a knockout. I could see a knockout also.
Okay. Sure.
But I'm still going for that jiu-jitsu.
God bless you. I just
Hey, here's to jiu-jitsu.
here. You know what?
Can he get
Cheers
it to
to
the guy?
jiu-jitsu. Hey,
Okay.
you better fucking cheers to jiu-jitsu too.
Fine, you jiu-jitsu guys.
He's like, this motherfucker's 3 months in, and he's just like, I don't know if I'm gonna
Yeah.
cheers to jiu-jitsu.
Well, you know what I like about Garrett?
What?
He's got like the good natural instincts,
Nice.
you know, and he's very, very coachable. Like he's
Dude.
not gonna. Oh,
What happened?
dude, Moicano just dropped.
Or you just
Makhachev.
connected with him?
Dropped him?
He dropped him with like a left hook.
Little flash drop.
God damn it! If he does beat him, this is
I
gonna be
mean,
it.
if he beats him by striking, that's totally not what I was saying.
If he beats him, this is gonna create a very unnatural like order of the world.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. Like, Makhachev kind of seems like he doesn't have much to
there we
lose,
go.
right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Listen, dude, he knew. He was like, oh, I took
Jiu-jitsu.
one strike. All right, I'm about to fucking full mount and
Dude.
add an arm choke you.
This guy is gonna fucking triangle Makhachev, I swear.
So one thing we should talk about, and we'll talk about it, I think, a little bit more off air. We were joking 'cause somebody tagged me in something, and I didn't understand what it was. I was like, when are you guys looking to open, right? And Chris was like, oh, this date. And I was like, cool.
What is that?
It's a grappling tournament.
Oh.
And so somebody tagged me, and they're like, hey, Raph, just to let you know. And I was like, oh.
Where is that? That's a big thing?
I don't know. We'll see. I just know that it might be an opportunity for me to have my students do something, but...
Dude, if you got to do it, do it.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to come support.
Where is that? Ontario?
It's Ontario.
What time?
I don't know. I got to figure all that shit out.
Well, I'm doing my thing 11 to 3. So maybe you can squeeze by for
We'll
like
see.
an
We'll see.
hour
We'll see.
or-
I don't know. Because I'll tell you this much.
Bro,
I'm looking to sign up.
It's also my daughter's birthday that day.
Get out of here. Don't do that.
Like, I tried, dude, literally, like, January 18th would have been perfect because this Vaughn's that just opened had their grand opening yesterday.
Yeah.
And then just had something else today.
Look at that. He gave it.
Oh, this
no.
should be done.
No. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Got it
Now,
done.
what was that? That was just the front choke.
That looked like a Darce.
It looked like a...
Darce or Anaconda?
I'm trying to... Sometimes I get confused on the Anaconda. I initially
I'd
thought it
have
was
to
an
see it
Anaconda, but I
again.
think he adjusted to a Darce.
Well,
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed paying as much as you did.
$600 ticket. Was it worth it?
yeah, right?
Not for me, dude.
Damn.
And Benil Dairouche is like, fuck everybody.
But Neil's in the crowd just going, cool. Hey, you know what? At least he got paid his money, though.
Yeah.
He did get paid?
He got paid
Okay.
his win and show money.
That's cool.
So
But,
that's
I mean, I'm
commendable.
Sure he's still probably like,
But
what the hell?
if you legitimately think about it, he's on the tail end of his career
Totally.
where it's like, dude, you're 35. You don't have times like this.
Bro, I'm 35.
Okay.
Don't say that.
But I mean, like,
No, I know.
let me put it to you this way.
He's like at the peak.
Pereira's 36. And he's
But Neil-
prime
only-
time right now.
only-
You've had some incredible
He can
fights.
pretty much only go down from where he's
Now,
at.
stay with me. You've had some incredible fights and some intense fights. I still don't think you've taken the damage that Benil has taken. That
For
has
real?
concerned me. Because Benil's taken damage
Even with
that...
the Jailton fight?
The Jailton fight is intense, but you won that one. But Neil's
I
been
don't
on
know how,
the...
honestly.
But Neil's been on the bad side of some fights that I've been
He's
like...
gotten
I
knocked out quite a few times.
I feel like he's not okay. And, you know, like, I went to go to interview one of his fighters, and he was so incredibly nice and gracious to me as I was there. And all I keep thinking is, don't say the wrong things. Like, don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. And then he was so nice, so chill. Something like this happens where I go, this is so unfortunate for him. And I was hoping he would get to fight in L.A., where his hometown
Yeah.
is Anaheim here. That's where his gym
Yes,
is.
his gym here, right? Yeah.
It's just like, dude, you think this is a slam dunk, and then maybe 2 days before, and what the fuck is Ollie wearing? Why is he coming to this like he's going to a Diddy party? It's too much. And I don't know if they're going to interview Moicano. I get the impression they will because he always gives something, but he also looks very quiet tonight.
What didn't he quote some like book last time? Like about like
So-
what was it? I forgot.
I think
He
you're
said something about like fighting communism or some shit.
He literally got up there and he spouted shit that I was like, all right, this is legitimately gibberish at
He's
this
like
point.
half concussed.
Yeah, but
Talking about like tyrannical governments or
it's
something.
when you realize you're giving the mic to a fighter that might have a concussion. You're like, say words. Be important. Anyway, they're interviewing Islam, and Islam is right now saying, I'm not just talk. My opponent, when he gives me a
Small
small
chance.
chance, I will put him away, essentially. And what did it feel like on one night to get a different opponent? Okay, it just means, if it doesn't matter, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you. That's really what he's saying.
Pretty much.
I like this belt. If somebody else wants it, come get it from this cage. And he is currently 5 wins away from surpassing, or at least tying, John Jones's record.
I heard they were giving Volkanovski a run back.
You think so? Oh,
I heard something about that.
I knew they were going to interview him. What the fuck are we doing here? I will say, putting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt seems like a little bit of a slight in this moment to be like,
Totally.
look at this jabroni getting tapped out by a fucking Darce or Anaconda. We don't know. You know what? He was a little bit better on the microphone tonight, so good on him. I mean, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Took a lifetime of work. Anyway, okay. Well, there's a lot that we saw here today. We did have a couple more finishes, so we do have a cheers to do, at least for Islam. We'll get to that here in a second, but I do want to point this out. Did we do a cheers for Jiří? I don't think we did, right?
No.
You're going to have to do that one, sir. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera on you. Garrett,
You son of a bitch.
I want you to look at that camera over there, and I want you to lead the toast for Jiří.
All right, Jiří. You took a couple of hard losses your last 2 fights. I lost some money on you, but you brought it back tonight. I made some money back, so here's the Jiří Procházka and his. It's a good cheer.
There's nothing funnier than I lost some money on you, didn't love that, but you brought it back together, Jiří. I remembered I love you. Cheers to you, sir.
Listen, bro, last couple fights, I don't know. But we still homies.
Yeah.
One of my friends posted this right now. It says, I just got home from work. I just wanted to say, oh, my God, Fionn versus Adele. Yes, Adele Foriano and Fionn Davies. That's a huge jiu-jitsu match. That will be coming up on the next Fight Pass Invitational. And it says, I also want to see Gabby versus the winner. I mean, yeah, sure. That'll be interesting. That'll be something to do. What's up, MacTube? I hope you're doing well, sir. Nonetheless, we do have another fight finish here. I'm going to have to let you take this one, Rich.
Let's do it.
So this is one to Islam, who just got that fight finish right over here. And obviously, it was technically on here put as a Bravo choke.
Really?
So that's what it put on.
Bravo.
It was a Darce, though, right?
Listen, bro. You know what happened? I think what happened here on
Bravo?
Wikipedia. Yeah. I feel like the people on Wikipedia were trying to, like, show off.
Is that supposed to be Bravo?
No, I think it's a Bravo joke. Let me pull this up here. These motherfuckers. This is how you can tell it's so new. They essentially want to be the first people to say, you can tell me, although it's Noki from these, so let's go ahead and just pull it up anyway. No, don't care. This is what they are saying that when they actually just did a Fionn Davies plug on that. So that's a gi variation. I don't know that you can call it that in no gi. I have to see the no gi version. Because in no gi, I mean, I kind of see it. And this is from Stefan Kessling, and Stefan's a beast. It does look similar to how they set it up. Gets the through underneath the armpit all the way underneath the head. I mean, that
Looks
to
like
me
a
just looks like a Darce.
It's a fucking Darce.
All right. You can say whatever you want to say. Oh, hold on. For a split second, I thought somebody else had put that underneath there. Okay. You'll go ahead and lead this charge, sir.
For Makhachev? Well,
Yeah.
I was going for Moicano, but that was a nice Darce. And Darces are probably one of my favorite no-gi chokes. Maybe it's a Bravo because it looks like he didn't get his arm all the way like to the bicep, like he was just on the
Put it
forearm.
on his forearm.
Yeah.
But either way, getting a finish in a championship fight, that's cheers worthy. I love finishes, submission or knockout. Yeah, I'll cheers to that.
Cheers indeed.
Hopefully next fight, Makhachev gets a little more of a challenge.
Yo, for real. Cheers.
Cheers.
Chris,
Wherever you are.
spit it out.
I like that you basically ended that with a Chris R.I.P. wherever you are. All right.
You got to. It's like one for the homies, you know?
It is one for the homies. Let's do this. Garrett, that camera's over there.
Yeah.
Why don't you do us a solid? You can shout out anybody you wanted to for your last win that you had. So that camera's all yours right there, sir. Tell the
Shout out
people
to
who you want to
anybody.
give shout outs to, any sponsors, any friends,
Yeah.
anybody who helped you get ready for that last PKB win that you had.
Cool. Yeah. Well, first of all, shout out to Rich in the gym, City of Tong, Sid 805. Chris, Maria, all good coaches coaching me up. Shout out to my parents for raising a strong man.
That Welsh blood.
Yeah, Welsh, half Dutch. So some of my Dutch came out in the last fight. My kickboxing roots. So thanks, Dad, for that. Yeah, and then shout out to God for keeping me healthy. And I'm excited for the future.
Yeah,
Big
me too.
things coming.
Awesome.
Garrett, I have to say it was a pleasure to get to know you a little bit better here tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing where you're going to go, and I'm happy to know that in the near future, you and I get to get some grappling rounds in together.
Yeah.
I will not take it easy on you. I will mostly just be the shit out of you.
That's going to be a fucking nightmare for Garrett.
Dude, I know. But you know what the nice part is? I always tell people like this. When I roll with people, I roll according to their goals. Like, if your goal is just to lose weight, I'm going to give you good weight. If your goal is to fight MMA, I'd rather you have a hard round with me than a hard round in the cage, because at least I'm your friend.
Definitely.
And then at the best part is you and I get the chance to actually talk it out after, and I get to give you advice.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite things is, dude, and you can relate to this, Rich. I recently had a friend who got knocked bad in a fight, right?
Okay.
Looked like it was going bad. I'm watching the fight. I would normally be there, but something happened where I couldn't report on it live. So I'm watching it on my phone. I'm with friends, civilians, and I'm just like, oh, cool. And they're like, what? I was like, he's kind of on Dream Street, but they haven't called the fight yet. He's going to get this heel hook. Holy shit. My boy, for the third time in a row, got a heel hook finish in an MMA fight.
And
Nice.
while he was dazed.
Well, I was dazed.
Yeah.
Wow.
6 years ago, I met this dude. My friend introduces me and says, hey, do you mind showing some leg attacks? And I said, sure, but I don't assume I know more than him. He's a fighter, and he's got a pretty good record. So what am I going to teach him? And he goes, just, see what he knows. I walk up to him. I was like, hey, what do you know about leg attacks? He's like, nothing. And I go, fuck. So now 6 years later, I see him getting not one, not two, but 3 different heel hook finishes. And I think to myself, oh, that's so good. My friend hears me tell this story, and she goes, as we're watching dinner, enjoying ourselves, she's like, so you're to credit for that win? I was like, no, not the win. I'm to credit for keeping my friends safe. Like,
There we go.
I'm not pretending like I made him win, but it's all the shit that you think about could go wrong, did go wrong, didn't hurt him, and he still won.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, sometimes you're nervous as a guy who doesn't necessarily fight, but you say like, hey, man, I'm here as a resource for you. When you start rolling and training with these people, you're like, I have no idea what the fuck any of this means. I just know we're just rolling for fun because you're my buddy.
Yeah.
But sometimes it works out where you teach them a move that helps them in a fight. And sometimes you see a move where you're like, oh, my dude's out. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, he won. No, we're fine. Okay, hey, guys, let's get another appetizer. You know what? This one's on me because, woo! So whenever you have those, take those moments. And for you, you have a great team here, so we're very happy about that. And I can't wait to see what comes next for you, sir.
Hell yeah.
You got a
Thanks.
good attitude on your shoulders. Rich,
that.
cheers
Cheers.
indeed.
Cheers.
Let's do that. Rich, tell the people right here, on this camera why they should come to this lovely gym here if they are maybe on the fence, they don't know that they want to train MMA. This is your opportunity to talk to those people. That is your camera right there, sir.
I would say, if you want to train Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, whatever it is, all these things are going to help you pull out the best version of yourself, and that's going to transfer into different parts of your life. I wish that I would have started training when I was younger, because it's been so beneficial for me mentally, physically, spiritually, psychologically. It honestly helps me in every aspect of my life. The hardest lessons that I've learned have been in fight camps, training for fights, in fights. I've dug out the best, toughest, most durable part of myself in fights, and it's made me learn a lot about who I am, what I'm capable of, what I can do, and giving me that confidence to believe in myself because other people believe in me too. It's a very beneficial and just wonderful experience that you can have, and I wish that I would have had that experience as a kid, because I think that I probably would have gotten in less trouble. And I would like to reach out to kids I work with kids that are 5 and up. I wish that I would have done these things when I was a kid. I probably would have gotten in a lot less trouble. My parents are awesome. They're very, very cool people. I always tell my dad, you should have just beat my ass. You should have just beat my ass, and I would have been a lot better kid. But honestly, just being in the gym and getting humbled is a certain type of experience that, transfers to a lot of other aspects of life. And I've been through a lot of different kind of things in my life, good and bad. And I just think that all the things that you learn in this room are going to help you and shape you to, make certain decisions in your life. And I want to give all of the knowledge and experience that I've been able to put in my belt to everyone else, and try to help them and just help people find the best version of themselves, because I feel like that's what this does for me, and that's really what it's all about, and just community and all of that. That's what you're going to find here. So if you want to do all that, then yeah, come train with me and learn Muay Thai, learn Jiu-Jitsu, challenge yourself to be better, learn what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and how you can apply that to your life. And I think that that's very beneficial for everyone.
I would agree. And I mean, listen, this is an excellent location. It's so funny because Rich was telling me, he's like, oh man, in the future there's going to be this and this. I was like, this is more than enough. If you look around here, Rich and I have definitely trained, and I don't mean disrespect to some of these people, but in some dirt bag places in our lives where I feel like if I had this and I was growing up, I would be more than happy. The space is beautiful. The climate is beautiful. The location is wonderful. You won't do better than here. So if you are in the Camarillo
Yes.
location, please come through. You get jiu-jitsu, you get kickboxing, you get Muay Thai, you get so much bang for your buck. So please come through here, and more importantly, you get somebody who has a great head on their shoulders as an MMA guidance, somebody who can walk you through where they have been, and much, much more. So very happy that we were able to do this here today. That's a couple quick reminders. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. I know a lot of you are sticking around because you want to talk fighting and whatnot. That's perfectly fine. We're going to close it here, but if you catch us here at the Grappling Hour, we're more than happy to take your questions in the future. Just mind you, a few reminders. Go on over to patreon.com/grappling hour if you want to see our interviews 30 days before anybody else. It's pretty much a way to sponsor the show. and give us some love and support. And there is a free version, but the free version mostly just shows you the interviews when they go out to everybody on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. But the support that you give us is so incredible, and it goes directly back into the show, and it makes sure that we can do fun stuff like this. Gives us the equipment, the lights, the cameras, the audio equipment, all that sort of stuff. So we definitely reinvest that back into the show. And you can find us Apple Podcast, Spotify. Rate and review if you could. It does mean a lot. I know it's very simple, but it puts us higher on the algorithm. Nobody likes saying the word algorithm. It's very dumb. It's a terrible word, but it does help us a lot. And you can find us on, Instagram, everywhere, every social media place at Grappling Hour. And additionally, you like this shirt, you see this. This is branding. This is merch. Go on over to rafesparza.com/merch. Help us here if you buy us a shirt or a hoodie. If you want to go compete, keeps you nice and warm while you are getting ready. Go on over there. You can get a combo for a t-shirt and a Grappling Hour hoodie, all that sort of stuff. rafesparza.com/merch. Ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out with us for an incredible series of fights. There were some really, really fun moments here tonight, and we appreciate you guys. But again, cannot say this enough. You'll see me coming to visit here at our friend's gym. It is so incredible. It is so much fun. I have been watching. I have had a lot of FOMO, and I cannot wait to come see our friends here again. But until then, ladies and gents, we appreciate you for hanging out with us on behalf of us here at the Grappling Hour. It's been a great day for grappling.
Later.